Warning. The following audio is solely our opinions. Please don't sue us, bro. Brought to you by Life Tech and Sundry. Life is better with Life Tech and Sundry.
Hi there. Sorry for butting into the podcast. So this podcast is brought to you by Anchor. And I just want to promote Anchor for all the listeners out there. What is Anchor, you say? Anchor is free. Okay? Totally free. So don't need to worry about that. What else? Anchor has basically all the creation tools that you'll need and you want to kickstart that podcast that you've been dreaming all this time. It helps it get it on the road. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Anchor takes care of that too. So you just have to create an account, start recording, and edit everything within the Anchor ecosystem. That makes things a lot more easy. Start creating. You can download the app too. May that be on Apple or Android. There's no bias there. If you want to get working on your computer, you can always go to anchor.fm. Again, the website is anchor.fm. Creating your podcast has never been easier. Thanks. Back to the show.
LTS.
Kick back, relax, and enjoy the LTS podcast.
My best friend.
This is Marcos Lopez coming to you live. Good evening. This is Mr. J and Sensei Alan coming to you live from LTS Studios. Introduce yourself, please, Mr. J. Big Al.
Mr. J after you.
Hello. This is not live because it's recorded. But hello.
Yes, 안녕. Alan?
What's going on, family? It's your boy Alan. Thank you, Marcos. Thank you, Mr. J, for having me back on the LTS podcast. It's truly a blessing. So let's get on with the show.
So, I feel like
We're here to talk about judgments of Marcos. He has committed a crime.
again.
What?
No,
Not again.
No, not
Yes.
again. No,
He dropped his dojins again.
those charges were
And they-
dropped.
Good
No, this is a new
Lord.
one. He dropped his dojins
Don't
in the
tell
middle
me
of
he
the
dropped
street.
them over there. Don't tell me he dropped them over there at work at the,
No,
the courthouse.
he did it in front of his house and they blew away and they're like, no.
No way.
And some say some kids picked it up and he spread his disease.
That's a travesty.
I mean,
my
I
buddy.
expanded their minds
No. You
I don't know
exposed
if
them,
that's
via
expanding
death.
minds.
No, via death.
basically. So how do you plead, Marcos?
I plead the fifth.
You
I
don't
need
have
to
those
get-
rights here.
I need to get Mirandized. Miranda needs to be
No,
here.
no.
Marcos,
No.
you're guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly.
Who decided that?
The judge, me.
Do you want me to elaborate?
You're like sunshine.
Yes.
So
He looks at you.
let's first go off with all of your names that I put graciously to both of you. Let's go with Mr. J, please. First, go with all
Marcos,
your
you
names.
didn't, no, you didn't give me a name. You gave me like a list of names.
I was in the mood. I was in the mindset. So can you please?
You got my name, like my first initial and my last name. Then you got Little Sunshine. Then you got the one J. J. You didn't even spell cruel sun right. You said cruel sun, like he's French. And then the last J of Y, which I don't know what Y is,
The last J of your life.
was cut out.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. I thought it would continue on like on this.
Yeah,
it is. Alan.
Yeah, the names for me, it's a little what's it called? It's a little on the long side. It gets cut off as far as the last one is. So and again, this is you naming me, so I have no control whatsoever of what you wrote.
But it's fun.
So,
There was an Alan. You're
what's the last one, by the
cut
way?
off, and after this one, there was another one that said, "All are equal under Al."
So no, because I see all respect the Al, and then the following one, I'm not able to read it completely.
I forgot. It just says the D on my side. So that.
I don't know who I'm giving this to, but okay.
Yes. And this is why I got charged on. No? And this is why.
So what do you?
And this
So
is
what do
why
you
I'm
plead,
court.
Marcos?
I plea. These are facts.
That's not a verdict.
Okay.
So we just give you guilty for now. We're gonna have to.
Oh, I like the for now
Guilty
part.
till
It's,
proven
wait, what?
innocent.
we're gonna have to send you to therapy now.
Oh
Expect the
yeah.
vet to come tomorrow.
Oh yeah. We just hear a certain
The-
hub kind of music to go
There you
off,
go.
no?
But all right, Marcos. Wait, did you get my little message on?
Oh, yeah.
on Google?
Yeah.
Did you guys see the video I sent you guys in the group chat?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay,
It was
'cause
nice.
that might be something we want to I guess discuss at the end.
Anything we put on the squad chat, we can converse if we all want to.
You didn't give me access.
Yeah,
to it.
I mean, if you guys want to, I just put it out there as an idea
Yeah.
or a point to talk about.
But Marco, you wanna?
Other
you
than
wanna
that, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, please go ahead, guys. However you want
Marcos,
to start.
do you wanna start with my story?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. So I saw Marcos pulling up, and he dropped his doges again in front of the courthouse.
And
And
it implies that was only one time.
oh god, he did it multiple. No. But I was like telling Marcos here, like maybe we should tell the story of my jury duty, because jury duty is different now because of COVID.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, if you're in the United
Wait, you're
States,
still going?
Oh no, I stopped, but just to
the charges were
give a
dropped
little
for him.
just to give the little rundown of what happened and how the process go, because it is a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like an interesting.
I mean, it's
story,
your
bro.
experience. It sounds
So, yeah.
interesting.
So I mean, obviously, what I'm gonna say probably is only gonna apply to where we are, which we're not gonna say, and it is gonna differ per county, county, and on top of that, even in state. So, it's probably gonna be similar, but not exact, because protocols are changing every day. So yeah, so I had mine because I postponed it. Typically, what they do here is they give you a questionnaire to kind of assess if you're good enough, I guess is to say, to be a juror. Once they assess that you're good enough, or how should I word it, like they want you basically to come in and to see. So I go in, in our courthouse over here. They're like, oh, you gotta come in. They give you a time. Well, no, they give you a date, and they tell you the day before. Say if it's on a Friday, if it's on a Friday, they typically tell you the day before, like a Thursday. Check their website, and if it's on a Monday, then they usually tell you you could check Sunday or you could check Friday afternoon. Typically,
Sunday.
but they say the most accurate is on Sunday night. Even though, mind you, it was kind of weird, because the first week where I have to come in for orientation, they told us that it was supposed to be on Monday. I had to check, and I checked, and they said don't come in Monday and Tuesday, come in Wednesday. I'm like, okay. I checked that Monday morning. So I'm like, you know what? Let me make sure. Let me double check over here if they didn't change anything. My mind's like, let me check. So I checked Monday night. If they changed anything, I check it, and they did. Instead, they're like, oh, wait, hold up. Come actually Tuesday. The bracket that they give us. And I'm like, okay, I'm in this bracket, so I'm gonna go on Tuesday now, I guess. So Tuesday came around, and they take us to the jury room, kind of like this, not a lounge, but like this room where they have potential jurors to come in. You know, it's right in front of a certain coffee shop that you know, some may say a big
Coffee shop, you say?
a big hustler may work there who's like, yo, you want some coffee?
Nani?
So it's right in front of, you know, you can't miss it.
Chotomate.
It's right in front of it. It's literally wide open. There's no doors. They're like, come in. You want a coffee? You want a sandwich? You want chips? Whatever. You want cookies? We got you.
Sounds all sounds delicious, my buddy.
But across from that is the jury, like I guess an auditorium or hall, and they put you in this room. They're like, they basically give you the run. They're like, hello everyone, we thank you for your service. Mind you, it's not exactly voluntary, but they're like, well, thank you for coming in. Then they kind of explain what's going on. Someone even like, they're like, oh, do you have any questions, any concerns? Someone brought up the fact that, hey, what's going on with the scheduling here? You guys told us to come in Wednesday, don't come in Tuesday, but now you tell us come in Tuesday. What's going on? And they're like, yeah, just
like
because,
a Twitter feed right there.
Exactly. They're like, oh, sorry, you know, this is going to be our first round of jurors to come in. And they're kind of like, you know, getting back into it and things. They told me Monday afternoon, they're like, bring in the people. I'm like, okay, I'm going to update the website.
Did they
Supposedly
sound
said they sent emails to remind everyone about it. But if you're not signed up to the email, then good luck. Some people even called in. They're like, oh, let me just make sure. So that's how they knew. So they give you so before you go in, you know, they send you the summons. The summons basically tries to make sure that you are eligible for jury duty, which is like, are you a citizen? Can you understand English? And then of course the payment, which is according to our policy here, if your company that you work in has more than 10 employees, they have to pay you. Regardless of that, though, they do have to give you time off to your jury duty. But if it's any other case, typically the court pays you, which is like $40 a day, which, you know, it's okay. It's a good amount of change. So they try to make sure that the billing's all good, that you're eligible, of course, and that you're able to serve, basically. That's once you fill that out, they ask you to fill it out beforehand. You fill it out there, but it's preferred to fill out beforehand. Then on top of that, they give you like a demographic survey to like say, these are the type of people that come in for jury duty around here. Luckily you don't have to put your name. You could, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna not put in my name. And then they make you watch a video, basically explaining what's going on, what's gonna happen.
By Vsauce.
Huh?
By Vsauce.
Who's Visa?
Hey there, Vsauce here.
Oh no. But yeah, so basically the video explains like what's going on, what's gonna happen. And they reiterate that, you know, it's good that everyone comes in to do their civic duties. Excuse me. Civic duties. As American citizens, America, you know. So afterwards, they kind of broke it down to us, like, you know, things are going to be a little bit different, of course, because of COVID. They asked us if please come in with masks. Mind you, though, like, I'll get to it later. So yeah, please wear a mask. They're gonna put us in a big room. It wasn't that day, it was the next day, but they said they're gonna put us in a big room, basically in the courtroom, and we're gonna sit down with the lawyers and the judge. And they also had the defendant for the case, and that's when they're gonna do jury selection. So yeah, so they dismissed us for orientation. I was about to go in for, you know, I'm like, you know what, those chips and sandwich sounds delicious right now. So as I walk through the doors, the fire alarm goes off. And, you know, the guy said that, you know, this is a great man. Look, he's a great businessman and runs a coffee shop, you know, in front. He doesn't own it, but he runs it a little bit. You know, the man nonchalantly hears the fire alarm. Okay, let me get my bag, and puts it on like nothing's going on. He's like, no, okay, ready to go. and he walks out like it was nothing. Mind you, the
Did he
fire alarm
close
was...
like the shop or anything, or did he just abandon it?
No. He kept it posted. He kept a chair there just in case. And yeah, he walked out. He grabbed his coat. He grabbed his pimp cane.
His chips and the drink.
Yeah, and I'm like, I really wanted that sandwich, but I'm like, I don't want to go through security.
He just walked away with the sunshine in his bag.
Yeah, he walked away with he went into the fridge, grabbed all the sandwiches and left. Even grabbed like a handful of mayo and mustard.
No way.
Yeah.
Did he put it in his backpack?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and if for everyone not knowing who this is Mr. Marcos over here. He runs the coffee shop.
Seriously though, just as a backstory, beforehand, like during the every week, like we got desensitized to the point every Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning. Guys, don't leave the building. It's a test. This test is gonna go off. It goes off, right? You're desensitized. Every Wednesday on the dot, and it gives us the warning. Whenever that warning doesn't go off, you already know things are gonna pop off nice and loud. So a week before, 2 weeks before, I was solo dolo in the shop running it. I'm like, okay, here you go, customer. There we go. We out. Boom, the alarm goes off. It was a different one. Turns out it was a bomb notification. So get out. And
wait, are there different noises or alarms for different situations?
It was the one siren. No, but I was talking with the security guards notice that I'm saying the first time. And I walk in, I was attending another customer, giving them a nice coffee. I was giving him the ice cup with the coffee in his hand, waiting for the money. Boom, the alarm goes off again, like within 15 minutes of the past bomb. I'm like, what? Of the past notification.
He looked at him though, he's like, I'm still gonna need that money though.
Nah. We're like, here, let's go.
I'm still gonna need that $5, my guy.
Let's go.
He whipped out his cane, he's like, give it to me.
Yeah, right? No, let's go. And here,
where's my money?
Yeah, no.
Where's my money?
But yeah, like I was talking with my with my doctor, and he's like, they made me a survey like you did, and they told me like, what are you looking into this? Like, because we were so desensitized or trained with the alarms. I'm like, this place isn't properly set up for a bomb notification. This was at my eye doctor. They're a medical center, not a court. So I guess I got like high school. You know how you get desensitized for the exits and all those things.
So you hide under the desk.
No, you find the exits.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, go.
So yeah, I'm gonna continue on.
There's so many doors there. Are there like a protocol that you have to follow?
Tell them what happens also when the alarms
Marcos jumped out the window.
On the first floor, right?
Yeah, on the first floor.
Nah.
No. He got up and walked out the front door. Like
but shutters go off everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's certain places that like kind of covers everything. Supposedly they're like bulletproof or something, or blast proof.
Bullet like and blast and fire.
So wait, you're literally trapped inside with doors that can be blown apart. So if you don't make it to that
they're segmented.
Main entrance or exit,
yeah, they don't like. No. Well, I mean, you can easily just leave.
There's a green button that you can open them by hand, but they shut. You saw it.
Well, no, because they open pretty slowly. They're like slowly going in. I guess it's just so everyone can get out. And yeah, I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'm not getting that sandwich. So I walked out.
Sandwich? Why?
Yes. So I walked out. I saw Marcos over here. He's like, hey. And I'm like, and he whips out the bag of pretzels. I'm like, I don't eat pretzels because they dry.
Super dry.
And then I passed him a water bottle. Want some water?
I was like, no, because I still don't like pretzels.
Personal choice.
I'm like, I wanted the cheeps,
man.
but it's okay.
It's true what they say. Beggars can't be choosers, man.
So yeah, so then the next day comes in. They gave us like a paper saying basically come in at 9:15 for jury selection. So yeah, so I came in at 9:15. I went into what was it? I went into the same room that's right in front of that beautiful coffee shop. You know, where they sell the coffees, the sandwiches. You know, not sponsored, but sponsored, of course.
Of course.
So I walked in. Then they basically make us wait. they have, so in the jury summons that they mail you, they have like an identification card with your name and everything, and they use that to basically call you out. So once they called me with the group, they walked us up and they made us wait outside of the courtroom that we're gonna have for the jury selection, and we waited for a while. I can't lie. We waited for a good few minutes until they're like, all right, we're ready. And then they called us one by name to go into the room. And basically
That's
in
hilarious.
in the jury box and in not the witness, basically where you can see the court and not be part of it. They have it numbered. So they're like, okay, this is for jury number XYZ, whatever. So, that's why they're calling us by name. And then they came to me and they're like, Joseph, this is Mr. Lopez. I'm like, oh,
Yes,
that's me.
that is I.
Are you related by chance with Mr. George Lopez?
Basically.
I
But
would
I'm
have
like-
figured they would ask, are you related to that handsome young fellow that works downstairs at the coffee shop?
Imagine. Nah. I was like, maybe.
He's a stud, by the way.
But no, I'm like, how do you? And then they mispronounced my name again. I'm like, do you guys need help pronouncing my name? I can tell you.
Facts, bro.
Like I can say it
Nice.
phonetically.
Yeah, and like, there's an English version I made up. But anyway, so we sat down. Once everyone was seated,
J Swag.
the judge introduced himself. Then the lawyers did, and the judge basically went over what the case was. It was a simple matter per se. So the defendant was there with his lawyer and some police officers to make sure he doesn't do anything. And then that's when they kind of went into the jury selection. Now, I feel like they could ask any question just to relate in the case, but the questions were specific to the case, because there were some circumstances that kind of made the case of the DA, the district attorney, kind of weird. That's why he kind of asked these certain questions, which was like, I think I can talk about it.
There was a
Basically-
microwave involved.
No. Oh yeah, there was. No, the question was if the victim is not here to testify, would that sway your decision at all? Basically, would that make it worse? Would that make it better? Would that change your verdict? Some people, there's this old lady that like kept asking like random questions. She was like, like he asked, like, that was like one of the first questions, and she like raised her hand. She's like, well, that's kind of hard to answer, just because it would be nice to hear the victim side, but like I don't know, I would like to say yes, but at the same time I don't know, and all that, so I'm just gonna say maybe. I'm like, what the okay.
Indecisive much?
Yeah, I'm also supposed to say that wouldn't sway your decision. But there's just that one lady, I was like, wow, that's a true one. And then they kept on asking the same other questions. Some people brought up that they couldn't make it because of XYZ. Some people said, oh, wait, hold up. Before that, sorry. Before they asked the question, I almost forgot the crazy part. The crazy part was not so crazy. The judge made us introduce ourselves to everyone. So mind you, there was like 30 something of us. So like, all right, so we'll start with jury number 1. And basically they made us introduce ourselves. There's like, there were a lot of people that were, a good age, like mid 40s.
You were number 1, weren't you?
No, I was not. I wasn't even close. I was like 20 something. But yeah, so
So you have to wait until they called you, like all the way to your
All
number,
the way,
or was
yeah.
it by alphabetical order?
No, it was by the number. So
you had like 20 odd
Like-
people before you.
yeah, it was
Good
long.
Lord.
That
And
is
what's worse is that I was like all the way in the back of the courtroom, where like I have to like scream basically so everyone can hear me.
Oops.
I don't think that's hard for you. You can just go in deep and say, "Hey."
No, I had to basically scream it. I was like, "Oi, you hear me, boy?" But no,
Oi,
yeah.
oi, oi.
There was like, I think there was a good amount of people that were around my age too. Actually, there was actually one girl that just graduated from my school as well, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" And just like, "Oh, that's neat." I like how the
Did
judge
you go
kind
talk
of got
to her or no?
Nah, 'cause we all left.
It's like, hey, alumni, what's going on?
Oh no! What? I know why. Because I'll continue to that. I'll explain why. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So the crazy part was like the judge kind of got like he sounded impressed if you said like, oh yeah, I work, I cook, I clean. Basically, if you're the picture perfect person, he's like, oh okay, good, great. That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Pat yourself on the back. But like, for example, when one guy say, oh yeah, one of my hobbies is I like to play video games. He goes, oh. I'm like, damn.
That's
Because he couldn't relate,
crazy
maybe.
bias
Something like
right
that.
there.
I'm like, damn, okay. I even said, I'm like, it's true. I still do it. But if, for me, he was like kind of iffy. He's like, oh, so
Sir, what do you do?
Engineer.
Yeah, an engineer, yeah.
He's like, oh, okay. And I heard him say video games. Like, oh, okay. I feel like in his head, he's like, he might do it for work. I'm like, nope.
He thinks you
tried to
probably
make
code
that
video
correlation.
games. Oh,
That's crazy.
No, he was like, oh,
So what if I do?
yeah.
Exactly. But yeah. So, and then for some reason, whenever someone said they read, and because the judge will always say, well, what kind of genre do you read? Everybody that said that was like, oh, I read historical fiction.
Goosebumps.
I'm like,
I want that. I want my dojins.
Animorphs.
I
no,
read-
it's just like, I read cat girls.
No, I mean, you do not read a cat girl.
Dr.
You.
Seuss.
Yeah.
Clifford the Big Red Dog.
But
No,
yeah,
dojins.
I'm like, dang, everyone here just reads historical fiction. Like, you got no variety, or is this just like the?
That's crazy.
I'm over
I'm
here
like, this is
shaking.
the. I'm like, this is the topic to go around. Historical fiction is coming in. It's getting hot off of the press. So yeah, so after, like I said, after we introduced ourselves, which took a while. I think that took like half of the time we had there. He introduced the case, like I said. Then, like I said, they asked the questions. Just kind of going back to that lady. She kept on asking. I feel like unnecessary questions for what the case is. Because she kept on repeating that, like, well, I mean, how I feel is like,
Oh no.
this, and like, don't get me wrong, if it was like pertaining to the case, I would have been okay. That makes sense. But I feel like some of it was just BS.
But Josua, do you think that she just did that to try to get dismissed so she didn't have to stay?
I feel like in
Or
my
did
heart,
she genuinely feel that way?
I mean, she was a little bit older, so I feel like she could have. She's like this type of person that like opens up easily, because she was like, but my beliefs or my feelings towards this. But I feel like some
What a
low-key-
snowflake.
I feel like this could be the opposite, but you were there, so.
No, but like I feel like
So, yeah.
low key, like I was like, yeah, she's trying to get out of jury duty.
She's trying to.
That
I'm
would
like, I
have been
should've-
my first
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah,
Me too.
I should have copied what she did.
Right.
I mean, they like some of them, because some of them would say like, oh, listen, I can't. Like some of them, like, I can't do this just because of how
Like, I can't do this,
like
dog.
one of the questions were like, do you have any families, friends, whatever, someone you're close with in police force? And some people did. Like obviously some people had
Oh, like a biased?
yeah, because
Oh.
no, but they asked like, do you have, like I said, family, someone you know in the law enforcement or even as a lawyer? A lot of people did say yes, like, I have father, I have a husband, yada.
Son.
And then once they said yes, they're like, do you think that with your relationship with this person, will that affect your decision on making a verdict? one interesting one was that a lady worked with prisoners in the, I think, county jail, basically trying to bring them up, do like writing exercise, and she's like, I feel like I can't make a verdict because I'm too close to people who are in prisons, and I understand their situation. I'm like, that's a valid point.
It's
That's
too
a
real.
valid point. Yeah, I'm like, that's the question you asked. You don't just make well, you see. But yeah, some people did say like, oh, I can't make a verdict, and yeah. So once the whole questioning was all said and done, they're like, okay, guys, go out to the hall and we'll call you. We'll let you know who get picked. So they let us back in the hall. So I actually didn't. So back to the girl from my school, I didn't, because I was actually talking to another girl. So I don't know why. I forgot how it just came up all of a sudden.
As you should. Yes.
I forgot how
Speak
it
to
wasn't
all the
like
ladies.
And yeah, then we went back. Then they told us, they were like, we call up your name, you've been chosen, then you're screwed. And they're like, sorry, you're gonna have to perform your civic duties. So, and I got my name called up and a few other people. Basically, it was like 12 people that got picked from like the 30 something. And
You were one of the lucky few, yeah.
yeah. Oddly enough, like I said, the girl that went to my school didn't get picked. So once everyone was picked, they're like, all right, if you didn't get picked, you're done. You can leave. I'm like, damn. And they're like, all right, for you who did get picked, you're gonna have to receive instructions with the sergeant over here. He's gonna let you know. He's gonna break it down for you how it's gonna work when you come in Monday morning, and get ready for this trial. He's like, hopefully, I don't expect this trial to be a long trial. Probably gonna be done by the end of the week. So that's the lucky thing, is like, this is one of our first cases, and it's gonna be a really quick case, so you're not gonna lose too much time. And he's like, all right, have a good day. We'll see you back on Monday. I'm like, okay. So then we leave. The sergeant takes us to the window where it's like literally right across the street from the parking lot. He's like, all right. He's like, all right, on Monday, if you have a car, you can, we'll give you these passes with a stamp on it that that says you're a juror. You come in through that entrance, you just show it to them and they'll scan you in. And you go to the juror parking. He told us where it is. He's like, we're gonna try to be here at 8:30 to get ready. And basically told us, once you get here though, you're gonna cross to the bridge, go to the underground, take some stairs, and then you come up to the front, and yeah, you go through security just like any other person, and you're gonna go up to the polling room, I think it was, and we'll call you from there. He's like, all right, guys, see you on Monday. And then everybody asks, like, oh, like, for example, like, oh, can we bring a bag? He's like, yeah, bring a bag. It's going to be a while. Bring some snacks, bring some waters, stuff that can get you to the day. And the sweater, yeah, and the sweater, because that place was cold. Man, that was freezing. So yeah. So, I left that day. Fast forward to Monday. I get there around like 8:10ish. Go through security. I hop up over to that wonderful coffee shop. The best coffee shop in the courtroom.
Would you think that coffee shop is cold?
No, the outside of the courtroom is not cold. It's fine. I went in there. I saw Mr. Marcos over here, the man himself, with his chest puffed up.
On duty.
Oddly enough, when we were doing this, they were kind of in the transition to allowing people to not wear a mask as long as you're vaccinated. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I showed them my card, gave me a little sticker, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have to wear a mask.
Now everyone has to wear masks again.
Oh, that's crazy. So if you already fully vaccinated in a federal a building, you're able to go in without a mask.
No,
Yeah,
the other way. Show that you've been vaccinated. Whatever rules are outside or other facility, you do whatever the rules. Each one you gotta follow the rules. But in that one they changed. That one's already kind of outdated. Just as a heads up, no excuse. Everyone masked up.
Oh, dang. No.
So even if you're fully vaccinated, you can't go inside a federal
No, you
building without being like masked up.
Yeah, correct. What are
okay.
those are the new rules.
No, yeah. Back then, when like I said, they were kind of changing into that rule. Basically, what they told us, they're like, okay, well, this shows you're vaccinated, your vaccine card. They gave us a little sticker, and yeah, they allowed us to take off the mask. For my time at least.
So it went from wearing masks or mandated inside the federal building to okay, they're a little bit more lax. If you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear it. They give you a little sticker. And now they're going backwards and saying everybody, even if you are fully vaccinated, you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Da.
Okay. Crazy, but okay.
But yeah. So I go, like I said, I go into the coffee shop. I get myself what I get? I think I get anything that day.
Not even tea.
No, I got tea later.
Oh.
But I was like, oh, Marcos, I just say what's up. I told him I didn't want anything. I just wanted to come up and say, hey.
You met my boss?
I met his boss. Well, no, I met your boss
Is
before.
Marco's tea selection like really stacked? Does he have like jasmine, oolong,
right,
barley? What kind of
he has everything but green
tea
tea.
does my man have?
We have two kinds of green teas,
Ooh,
but nothing
that
fancy.
sounds delicious.
No, but it's basically green tea and green tea with lemon.
Yeah, nothing fancy.
Wait, what?
They squeeze a little bit of lemon for you.
Like an actual lemon wedge, or what's going on?
No.
Nah,
It's like it's in the packet.
It's prepackaged.
Yeah.
It kind of helps now
is
with
it one of the like little tea bag?
Yeah.
Is it Bigelow or what's the name of the company?
I forgot. But anyway.
Oh yeah, I know Bigelow. Yeah, okay.
But so I say, hey, I go up to the polling room. I sit down with all the
Polls
jurors.
everywhere.
Exactly. And I, like Marcos said, I brought a sweater because I was telling Marcos, I'm like, I feel like I'm one of these cold drinks you have out here, just waiting to get picked in the courtroom. So
what was my man's selection though? Like cranberry juice, Tropicana.
He had like the regular stuff like
juice.
sodas.
At least 8 different Tropicana.
Snapple.
Snapples, some
sodas.
Calypso,
He had Sprite.
some Sprite,
Coke.
some Brisk, some Lipton.
They have a separate fridge from the drinks, to where they have like all the milk, iced coffee, and the sandwiches. And then Marcos informed me that if you're really hungry and you don't want these sandwiches, they got a connection with the local deli, was tomatoes.
Yeah.
And basically you can pick from the menu and order food, and they'll
Pick it up at the store.
Yeah, they'll pick it up in the store. So if you want a better sandwich.
Now, like not to like to go off on a tangent, but being that there's like 2 other options that are close by, being the mall and inside the actual library,
Past
which
security?
I don't know. Like I don't know if the library's I guess you can say cafe or
It's not open yet.
whatever is open at the moment, but I know for a fact that the mall down, like not even, it's literally across the street. You don't have
A
to walk that
block.
far. Like, wouldn't it be? It's not that. It's not even a block, or is it?
I think
It is
a block.
technically speaking, yeah. You go
Because
in
it's just
on
across
the
the
street.
like-
No.
Yeah.
no,
Well,
it's a
okay,
block.
Semantics, I guess you can
Yeah,
call
yeah.
it, whether it be you call it cross street or down the block. I mean, but it's still at walking distance to
Right.
go to the food court. Wouldn't that be like another alternative choice, or you wanted to go to the cafe for inside the courthouse for the sandwich selection that they have, because it was a better selection, I imagine.
Or if you want to pay
Or-
more outside.
Well, I
Right.
don't know what the price is like as far
this
as like how
Friday-
competitive is the cafe.
This Friday,
at
a
the
lawyer came
courthouse.
up at me. Let me tell you this one. This
Oh,
Friday,
okay.
a lawyer came up at me. This is hot off the presses. He said, "Oh, excuse me, I was talking to Jose, and he heard it. He's my witness.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this isn't a complaint. It's actually a counter complaint. You should raise your prices more." What? I'm like, what? And Josue's like, what? And like he said nani at the same time. Right, Josue? Go for it. You tell
I'm
him.
like, huh. Oh, so basically, I mean, I was on the phone with Marcos, but basically the guy is saying is like, because like they sell stuff pretty cheap over there. Like coffee is like $1. Tea is also like $1. Give or take. I think coffee is like $1.50.
Coffee's $1.50 and a large 12 ounce $1.50, 16 ounce $2.
Yeah, and the guy was basically saying like, you should charge more. You go to your local deli, and the same size coffee is like $2.50.
He had a Red Bull, and the Red Bull was like $3.25.
Yeah, and he's like, you're selling them pretty cheap. You should make a bigger profit. And Marcos is here like, oh, thank you.
But I'm guessing that's to stay competitive against like Dunkin' Donuts, which is also like
or the
maybe
whole
a block
or
and
the
a
whole
half
mall,
away.
or 7-Eleven, or any deli within the same
Or
block.
Starbucks.
I mean, you can definitely be competitive with like drip coffee and tea because it's literally water and a tea pack, right? So
What else?
I'm guessing if you were to compare, like if you were to go to like the local bodega for a Red Bull, maybe you might see, I don't know, a difference in price. But I think speaking about the coffee and tea, I think the price is like very competitive to obviously beat out going to like a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks or something like that.
Right.
a sandwich over there is like $7.25, and I'm like, damn, that went up.
No, but I feel like it's something quick, definitely for sure. This is probably better to just stay in the coffee shop. If you want something more fancy, of course, you have to go. Marco does have a point. You have to go back to security, which is kind of a hassle because,
Yeah, that's a pain in the butt.
They're like, shit. And I'm like, huh?
What?
Spread your cheeks and lift your sack.
Spread them.
Nah, so something quick is like, that's good to go downstairs. And, the tea and coffee ain't that bad. Has some positive reviews from there.
Cappuccino, French vanilla, hot chocolate.
So I would say for me, so I guess back to my thing.
Back to Jay.
Yeah. So back for my jury duty, the first day it was kind of good. I say kinda because like I didn't really talk to people. I talked to this one guy and he's important because we like chatted up and all that stuff.
The guy that I saw you with a lot?
Yeah. The bald guy?
Yeah.
And yeah. So he's pretty chill. But at the end of the jury duty, turns out like for some odd reason, because I was in a different room from him when we like took on breaks, so I didn't really get to talk to him until like it was really in the beginning. And then for lunch I went down with Marcos. But he's like, yo, we missed you during lunch. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I started talking with some people and we basically made a quick group to have lunch. He's like, you should join us for tomorrow. I'm like, hell yeah, for sure. And it turns out it was 2 girls that were also part of it. I'm like, yeah. So let me join through.
Was there any
Absolutely
cup
doing it for the culture. I mean, for the ladies.
Was there any cup involved?
What? No, what? Marco, what does a cup have to do with anything? He's like, let me run away real quick.
2 girls,
so
1 cup.
Okay, Marco, we gotta take away your indulgence again.
Proceed.
So yeah, so the second day, it was more like I said, more Jerry stuff. They basically presented more evidence. It was still on the DA side to present evidence, which I'm like, damn, this guy got a hefty amount of evidence. Which I thought at first, we saw like it was mostly just testimonies, not from people, but from like officers and detectives, basically. Then we saw like a few videos. Yeah, then we saw like a few videos of the incident. No, well, not so much the incident, more like the guy entering the building and the guy leaving the building after doing the incident.
The officer.
So I'm like, and then we also saw footage of the body cam of the officer that responded to that, and basically like what has happened afterwards. So I'm like, damn.
So body cams came in clutch on this one.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
But like what struck me odd was how the people, the victim and the victim's wife, how they kind of responded to this. Because they're like asking him, like, okay, so who did this to you? He's like, man, I don't know. And the wife's like, just help him. But I'm trying to figure out who the hell did this to him. He's like, just help him. He's gonna die. So I'm like, that's a little bit weird. I mean, usually you tell officers who did this to you so they go and get you. And get that guy.
He's like, I am no snitch.
Basically. So yeah. So we saw some more footage. And yeah. So like I said, when right around lunch came around, I told Marco, I'm like, all right, we hang out with these people. See how it is.
One tear came out of my good eye.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I'm not crying,
Oh yeah.
but go, my son.
So yeah. So
Shine.
we went to Tomatoes. Because the other thing was like,
Really? For
Yeah.
tomatoes? I find
Hey,
out
that's
about
not a bad
I'm
play.
just I'm being jealous over here from the cafe.
One of the reasons why, because we were actually talking about it beforehand and the break before, and they said that how Tomatoes was a bank before, which
What?
to be honest with
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
Wow.
I completely forgot about that. I'm like, oh yeah, but I don't
And then it
remember.
became an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then
Oh, we
it
didn't say
became
that.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
I don't even know. Like I was like, they're like, do you know what bank it was? I'm like, I don't even remember. It was like a. Do you guys remember? Was it like a Wells Fargo or something?
I'm pretty sure it was something like that, like either a Wells Fargo or I don't know. Yeah, I think it was a Wells Fargo.
That feels like a banky place, the way the building is, and a little bit frou-frou.
No, yeah. So basically,
I do
we were
remember
saying,
when it got switched to an Italian restaurant. The bank vault, like the door was still there,
An attraction.
and yeah. So basically, you had like a private dining room set up inside.
Dang.
so
which
that's
was pretty
actually what
dope.
they were saying. They're basically it was the girl because one of the girls was Tomatoes, and she's saying, yeah, you know, they let you eat in the vault. It basically was a bank, and you know, it's pretty dope. It makes it more private. And he's like, yo, and the guy's like, yo, I want to try out eating the vault. So we had the Tomatoes, and we actually did ask for it, and they're like, we could, but it is kind of hard for us to get service into you, and it is kind of hot in there. So I mean, unless you want to wait for long service and a hot place, I would highly suggest against it. So I'm like, all right. We were like, all right, so we just eat outside. Well, not outside, like in the restaurant. So we shared like some wing. They're pretty good. I don't know. Ever since
Spicy
BBQ, we had like a good array. We had like a few spicy. They tried the blazing runs, which I'm like, yeah, we're about to go back in
they
the
wanted
courtroom.
death.
Yeah, I'm like, we're about to go back in the courtroom.
They're gonna be popping off in the bathroom.
That's a good one.
And I mostly like I ordered like the Asian zing, some honey. I
Oh,
think
that one's
that's honey
good.
garlic. And then we also had like some nachos and some fries to share. And we like, you know, we
Delicious.
chatted up. We like asked like, oh, where you guys are from, da da da.
Did you guys start a
And-
Discord
and
group?
Yeah. What? No. What? These aren't gamers. These are
I'm
real
not jealous.
people. So yeah.
It's like, so what's your handle on the Xbox?
basically,
On Steam.
we talked about each other. Oddly enough, the girls were my age, and the guy that I hanged out with was like 28, which we were like, oh. I'm like, damn. So yeah. So the girl that was from here was Italian, which I'm like, that's typical Tomatoes.
Should I cut that out?
And no,
You already said it twice, Josue. I think we're gonna have to edit those.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Oh,
Yeah,
I
from the
said it
general
once.
area, right?
Yeah. And the other girl was I think she was a mix. Yeah, she was a mix of Korean and Japanese.
Nice.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was like, no, yeah, that's what I was like. That's a really interesting combo.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, I've been told that before.
Does she have like 3 languages under her belt? It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. She told me that she does speak Korean well, and she's kind of iffy with the Japanese, and then obviously English is her.
I mean, she's answering your questions.
main lingo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, like I said, the guy, what was he? I forgot. I kind of lost him a little bit because he was explaining like his name.
My man was like
My
just
man's-
shaking his head, saying yes, yes, but thinking about something else. while he
Saitama
spoke.
much?
No, it was him
Right.
basically.
I'll call you Sai.
I was like, what was
Tama.
it? No, because like he said his name a few times. I'm like, that's very. It's like he's from.
My boy paid attention only to the girls. Yes. Yes.
No, it's like I feel like he's somewhere around like
It's
Ukraine,
logic, my
something
guy,
like
logic.
that. I think he's somewhere from like Ukraine or something like that.
I crane.
Oh, he's like Eastern Europe.
Eastern European.
European.
Okay.
Eastern
Yeah.
European.
But I forgot where exactly. He didn't really say. Or maybe he didn't. I'm like,
Jay,
yeah, I have
Respect,
no idea where
okay?
that is.
No judgment here. You did the right thing.
So yeah, and then obviously we went back. We started talking some more. Basically we only entered in a room for the 4 of us. I'm like, yeah.
Sus. They were tracking you guys.
No, but I mean, like, we just started talking more. We did talk about anime,
Thank
but
you.
kind of briefly because they
How did
talked
that
about shows.
conversation like start up?
Because we were
curious.
started talking about TV shows, and they started talking about, I think, The Walking
Obviously,
Dead,
the Asian
Game of
girl
Thrones,
influence.
and some. No. She does watch anime, but not like us, like crazy.
Her
into
standards
it.
are higher, so we can say that her normal is higher than us.
And what's it called? So then I was like, oh yeah, for me, it's like I really don't watch a lot of American TV shows. I said like I watch some Netflix shows. Like I said, I watched Stranger Things. I watched
Sabrina. Who's the
Sabrina?
teenage witch?
I gotta hit you with the
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg. Ooh,
I don't even know. What else? Like I said, I watched some Netflix special. I said I watched even
Seven
Big Bang
Deadly
Theory, and
Sins.
oh yeah, it's a really good one. Talking about
It's on
American
Netflix.
shows, Marcus. I said American Netflix shows. What else?
The Flash.
I even mentioned them. Yeah, I
you
just
could
say
have
the Flash.
You could have hit them with like Billions or something like
Arrow.
that, or Game of Thrones or
I
something
didn't
like
watch
that.
Yeah, the Arrow. And then that's what's like, but I'm mostly into like Japanese anime, stuff like that. I'm actually into the culture, and that's what's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And then the guy instantly knew what anime I was talking about. He's like, oh yeah, Dragon Ball. He's been to like
He
what
was
else?
hit you
Yu
with
Hakusho.
Marco's special, Keijo.
Did you pushed up your
No, no.
glasses and like they just shine?
I just but they all said, I think only one girl didn't know. I'm like, that's okay. And then yeah, and then
Wait, where was
like,
the other girl from? Was she
Italian.
like? Was she
yeah, the
Caucasian?
Italian one. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
no, yes, I said her parents are Italian. I think Italian American.
Oh, you should have asked her about like food, like if she knew
Actually,
like the good like Italian spots.
We did, and that's when she started. That's where no. We were talking about food in general, and she was like, "Oh yeah, there's a few good places." I think she did mention like some
Tomatoes.
bars and stuff. Bars.
My man went to a pizzeria.
You know what was crazy though? She mentioned you're gonna have to play this one out.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. So you're gonna
Yeah.
blur it out, right, Marcos? So she mentioned tomatoes,
Oh,
He's like
hey.
tomatoes.
Okay.
Which I'm like Marcos.
That's
Man,
more like
they're famous.
like delicatessen type of thing, though.
Yeah, because that's what you said. Like they make great sandwiches, and I'm like I just hear Marcos in my head just saying yes.
What do you mean? I'm right here.
It's like you are cultured.
I'm right here. Yes. Yes.
But basically, so she understands. Like she
As you
understands
push up your glasses.
the culture. Because she even explains like, yeah, they have which they do. They have long lines of people waiting for these sandwiches.
Rightfully so.
So, and I'm like, yeah, and I even mentioned like, yeah, usually nowadays if I'm gonna get a sandwich from there, I gotta order ahead because if not, that line, like that line would be crazy long. So she's like, yeah, no, it's crazy. Since even then, like, because middle schoolers also
It's so
go there
close to them.
it's really close. Like, but it's like a staple over here. I'm like, yeah, she understands.
Did you give her a thumbs up?
I gave her a pat on the back.
He double tapped her face.
No, what? No.
Gave her a like.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on, Marco.
double tapped her head. It was like, yes, that's a like for you.
They actually explained to me that on the first day that I missed out because I was with Marcos. They say that they actually went to and then you're gonna have to also blur this out, Marcos. Well, and actually no, I'll say this. They went to a noodle place over here.
Tomatoes.
By tomatoes.
Yeah,
I said noodle place. It's not called noodle place.
It's literally a hole in the wall. It's right across the street from like the Bank of America.
What's the name?
Yeah, like by the.
It's next to like the tea shop. That's like right around the corner from the new Brazilian spot.
Which I didn't even know they had.
Say the name. I don't know which one it is. I'll blur it out.
Are you blur? It's called the tomatoes.
Noodle place. Tomatoes. Oh, it's so hard. Yeah, I got it.
Well, if I say noodle place, then they're gonna be like, okay, so it's just a regular noodle place. But if I say the name, then they're gonna be like, okay, now I can look it up now.
Facts.
So yeah, they went over there, they tried it out, and they're like, yo, it tasted great. And she's like, yeah, it's really good because like I said, the Asian girls to recommend it. So I was like, yeah, no, it's pretty good. I think I've only had it once, but that was like with friends. And I never went back. I was like, it's pretty good. I thought it was kind of expensive.
Same.
I was like, I don't know if I want to come back. But yeah. I even I rep the Japanese place we always go to, right across from the mall.
Rest in peace, Mokumiya.
Who?
Yeah, that closed down a while ago, bro.
Yeah.
Why do you think I said rest in peace?
No, but you know what I'm talking about, Al? The one across from
diagonally from Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know that closed recently.
No.
Permanently.
The Starbucks or the?
Yes, please let it be Starbucks.
The Japanese with what's it called? With the yakitori?
Yeah.
It recently closed like a couple weeks ago.
Rip in peace. No.
Yeah, bro.
I think even the one next to it, the Mediterranean place.
Yeah, I think that like for the most part, like a lot of the places on that particular block, that street, on that side of the street, a lot of the places closed down, and like even the more recent open concepts that they had, which was like
it was on Main Street
and all these other places that were literally right next to each other. A lot of them closed down. The only thing that stayed, as far as I could tell right now, like as of right now, is yeah, bro. And then up the street,
tomatoes.
What's it called? Yeah, bro. The one across the street from the glass one. Yeah, right across the street from Starbucks. The one with like
oh yeah.
Mediterranean something. Yeah.
No.
There's an Italian one literally across the street from that one.
Yeah. So I believe those are the only two. I mean, not including the steakhouse or whatever, right? Or I don't know if it's a steakhouse, but higher end restaurant right next to it.
Yeah,
That's inside the building.
Yeah. So yeah, we actually walked around over there, and yeah, we went back, saw the rest of it. I think that day it was basically like wrapping up some of the DA stuff, and he said like we'll have a few more the next day. And yeah, I guess now I could just like wrap up the story more, because it kept on going like that. Basically, the next day we had lunch over at
Tomatoes.
what was it? Yeah, Tomatoes. I mean, can I say the
Go
name?
for it.
All right, it's a tomato. It's some
The Iron
Mexican,
Tomato.
like American. It's some Mexican American bar named Tomatoes. Over here, I'm Tomatoes, which you gotta have to
I
say
know what
tomatoes
you're
again.
talking about. Right.
Wait, I'm like, I.
Yeah,
Funny
literally,
enough, one of the girls, the Italian, yeah, and it's like one of the girls looked at the waiter and she's like, "Yo, I think I went to high school with her." I was like, "Ha,
Oh, that's
that's
crazy.
funny." I'm like, "Yo, you should walk up to her and see if she remembers." She's like, "Nah, I don't think she
Was
knows
this the
me."
Asian girl?
I'm like, "All right."
Or discount.
No, I said the. Yeah, exactly. No, it's the Italian. Like I said, the Italian one is from here. But yeah, I think we had tacos, which, like I said, they're alright. They liked them. I was like, man, they weren't. You
My
know,
man,
like
Fosway was like, pit, pit, pit. What is this
Yeah,
blasphemy?
basically. Yo, I had some. I was like, you know what? Let me try something crazy. I had the mango jerk chicken taco, and I was like,
Good lord, what is
that?
that?
Sounds like it could hit. That's what when I had it, I was like, oh god, what did I eat?
Oh,
Adds,
did it like hit your stomach like in the worst way, bro?
Nah, it didn't like hit my stomach. It tasted so bad. I'm like, nah, these mixes not mix well.
Yeah, I bet.
And I was like smart. I'm like, let me have, on top of that, I had like all pork store and steak. I'm like, there's no way you can mess this up. Please don't mess it up. And they're all right. I'm like, all right, they're not
It
that bad.
seems like they kind of messed
good.
it up.
But no, I'm like, and then I'm like, all right, let me try this random chicken thing. And I'm like, let me try it out. This is one of these. It's one of those things that you've never had and I will never have again. And yeah, and they're actually mentioning remember that new place over there at the pizza place we always go to?
Tomatoes.
Oh yeah, the one on the corner.
There's like a new.
Yeah, the Marcos.
tomato-
Remember the
yeah,
place
that
that
one.
you told
Yeah,
me
yeah,
before
it's-
that you wanted to like rent out to be the studio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
that didn't work
didn't
out.
work out. And,
It was
they made it into
expensive.
a
I looked
Mexican
into the
restaurant.
price. It was expensive.
Well, yeah, bro. It's
I
a
would assume
corner on the block.
On Main Street.
Plus, it's on the main street. On a
And I
main
think
street.
they probably had a kitchen
They had
inside.
a kitchen.
No, not only did they have a kitchen on the
second floor.
not only do they have a kitchen, but they have a roof.
A terrace.
What's it called? A terrace. There you go. Yeah. And bro,
Dang.
you know how much money they were probably asking for that?
An
Like
arm and
arm
my
and a
third leg.
There you go.
He's like, but
And
yeah,
my
we
firstborn.
like I said, most of the time, and my firstborn, dang. So yeah, most of the time, if apart from like sitting in court, I hanged out with the four of us, and you know, I had a good time. Had a good time chatting up. They basically carried my jury duty because I thought it was gonna be boring.
They had play of
but
the
They
game.
carried it basically. But yeah, basically. So then the last day comes around, and this is why I want to get it. So we reach the verdict. We do the verdict of. Actually, no. Before that, the defendant comes in and tries to testify to help himself. Now, I mean, you know, the guy doesn't seem that bad. He looks like he's a Caribbean kind of guy, just because of his accent. It's kind of thick.
West Indian. Huh?
Some of them had not West Indian, Caribbean.
That's what I said.
What
West
is that?
Indian.
Yeah. Geography is not my strong suit, as you can see.
Did Alan
Neither
stutter?
is it mine, sir.
Did Al stutter?
Huh? Oh no.
Because I did.
No, but yeah, because I did. So his accent was kind of thick. So you can see in the interview they had on the day they arrested him. They're like asking, like, "Can you speak up? Can you reiterate that?" And even in the courtroom, they're doing the same. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy just, did the thing. I don't want to say that because we like to keep monetization. I forgot how the policy works for Spotify. But I mean, the guy was like, comes up and they were swearing him in, but the guy was like, "Oh, I promise I won't lie. It's to get my beliefs, to get my religion." And I'm like, I don't know if that makes it better. But okay, I mean, I'll give the man a shot. And they actually swore him in like that. They didn't swear him like any other guy. Like, everyone there had to like say, "I swear," they had to raise their right hand. Nah, they didn't do that
even
for
the
him.
Bible part?
But they counted it. Nah, they didn't, but they still counted it. So we basically tried to recollect what happened. And yeah, so after his testimony, we basically reached a verdict. The verdict was not guilty. I mean, mostly just because
Just say if it was favorable for him or against him, or unfavorable.
Oh no, it was favorable for him.
Okay.
No, but the reason why I said we did is mostly because I know I said that there was a lot of evidence presented, but the evidence was like before it happened and then after it happened. Nothing sure of when it happened. So because of that, there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute him, which is why they reached that verdict.
How can you get evidence during the happening, though?
Well, something that points towards it.
Conclusive evidence.
What happened, as they say. Yeah, there wasn't nothing conclusive.
Got it.
It would have, some things would have helped, but not. So basically, once we reached the verdict, they dismissed us. They gave us the letters saying that we did our thing. And oddly enough, the attorneys came in because they said it was literally our first case coming back from what's been going on. And they basically asked us, like, "What do you think? Well, how to feel? How to go?
Can you please rate us 5 stars?
What is something we can do that we can improve?" But yeah, basically that. It was basically no. They like asked like what was like. I remember like some of us like told them like, "Listen, man," because the DA just seemed kind of new. They're like, "Listen, man, you brought up the best case you could have with what you had, but there were some things that you definitely could have improved on. Even like for me, I was like, yo, like I have this issue too, so I'm not trying to instigate you or make fun of you, but the way you present yourself, you gotta work on that, your presentation skills, man, because the way you spoke sometimes didn't make you seem certain. There were moments where you were aggressive, which was great, but there were moments where you're like, I don't know. And like even with the attorney for the defendant, he was like, "Yo, you kept on bringing up the same thing over and over again."
He was leading.
And he's like, no. Yeah, he's like, "I know, but you gotta understand that's all I had. I had to get as much as I can, man."
It sounds like a basketball game. I like it. I like the facts.
Oh yeah, but the attorneys were pretty cool. They were pretty chill. They talked to us for a few minutes. Like I said, they asked us like how you felt. I was like, I remember the attorney for the defendant was like, "How do you feel, man? How did you think it go?" I'm like, this is my first jury duty case. I've never done it before, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good. The process went smooth. Unfortunately, this case was kind of weird. But I think for a first case, I thought it went all right. I think nothing crazy happened, and it wasn't that hard of a decision, so it was pretty good. It's like, all right, man, it's good to hear. Good to hear, man. So yeah, that was jury duty. I'm still in contact with those 4 people.
Nice.
And
On Instagram, probably.
Good for you, buddy.
he's like, and it's no, I did. One doesn't have
You should
Instagram,
have, like,
unfortunately.
There's a whole world out there.
It's okay. Basically, but yeah, no, we basically just exchanged numbers and we have like a
On
group chat. We
Discord?
talk every now and then. No,
I
on
meant
my
said
phone,
on
Marcus.
Discord.
On text
Close
messages.
enough.
It's like, do they follow you on Twitch though?
Yeah, they follow my Twitch over here
That's
at
crazy.
DJ45648, which is not my actual Twitch. So
Did they sign up to
you
the
don't have to blur that
Patreon up
yet? Oh no, they signed up for
They're like-
Marco's OnlyFans, but
Oh,
he signed
good
the links
lord.
on his
They're like
Dogecoin.
the
Where he reads you Dojins as a
ASMR.
good night bed
Yeah.
story.
little sunshine, or the 1J, or the cruel sun.
So I know I've been speaking for a lot, but I want to progress into tech. But before, I know you have this before, but I want to talk about the Samsung stuff because you know how Samsung released some goodies this week.
Yes, please.
So, so I'll take the Samsung. I would say, like I said, take it first, just because the first one's Motorola, and let's be honest,
They
who cares
want to
about
be the
Motorola?
first, but
Well, I mean, we'll bring it up. We'll
okay, yes,
bring it
please.
up later.
Thank you.
So before that article, I want to say that, you know, as we said this week, Samsung released some new phones. But before the phones, they released new earbuds. They released the Galaxy Buds. I think they call it the Galaxy
2,
Buds
yeah.
2
I
because
think
the
so,
other
yeah.
ones were called the.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the Galaxy Buds 2 are, as people say, similar to the Pros, but according to some people, they're not as
Nani?
good as them. And mind you, this is coming from viewers. This is not coming from people who's actually bought them because
Yeah.
they're still in pre-order. So they have I think they have ANC.
Active noise
Check.
canceling.
Yeah, they do. They have both.
So yeah, they have active noise canceling, ambient mode. The design of it with the case, excuse me,
It's essentially the same thing.
extremely
An
similar
iteration,
to the Pros.
if you will.
Form factor is very
Um,
similar.
I think the only difference is the battery.
And the color scheme.
I think the battery is
Inside and
smaller,
outside.
and the color scheme. But you know, the big thing is always the battery,
Yeah.
because you know you want
right.
that
long
And,
long-lasting
and even
battery.
the earbud is a little smaller than the previous generation.
Right. Now I do have the Pros. I feel like the Pros
I've
are
fallen
good.
asleep with them.
I've fallen asleep.
Do you?
Yeah.
So I feel like it is easy because they do like snug up into your ear like that. Like sometimes I feel like it'll go in, and I'm like, nope, they're
I
too
have
big.
to use the bigger tips though on mine, because I use the
Oh, no, I use the
biggest ones,
medium,
and they're still kind of
but-
small for me.
Yeah, I use the medium as well.
But yeah, so they released the Galaxy Buds 2. Am I gonna get
What about
them?
the watch,
Heck
though?
no, because I already have the Pros. Oh yeah, so that's the next thing. They released the Galaxy Watch 4 and the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. So I'm probably gonna base it off the Classic because I think that's the better looking one and probably
Maybe.
the better one in general. So they have, I mean, they're a little. I heard that they're a little bit above the Galaxy Watch 3s. Let me check. Do they change anything? I think they're pretty similar. Of course, the big thing is their look. I feel like they look a little bit slimmer compared to like the
And
Galaxy
that was
Watch
slim.
3.
We
I
had
feel
like first person experience watching Alan.
Yeah.
You know, check the video on the description. But yeah.
check
And
the
shout
video.
out to the video.
Hey.
They kind of went back to how the button layout is on the Galaxy Watch, the original one, because you remember on the 3 they rocked with the
The
circular
ring, if you will.
buttons that kind of I'm not talking about the ring, I'm talking about the buttons. On the Galaxy Watch 3, they're kind of like little like
Yeah,
circular
yeah.
buttons. But on the original one, they were like wider and kind of something you do see
Mhm.
only on watches. And they kind of went back to that for the 4. And of course, they're still rocking that like Marco said, the little like what's
The
it called? The wheel. The wheel. And also they also supposedly, they also partnered with Google to kind of bring in some aspects of the Wear OS from Google, but they are still using the Samsung OS as their default thing. You can't go to the OS for Google. It's just whatever they have on Samsung. But I mean, I feel like this watch does, like I said, look slimmer. It looks clean. As far as the Galaxy Watch 4, the regular one, it looks cool. It kind of reminds me of the sport version they had from the Galaxy Watch 3. I personally don't like that touch wheel thing that you have instead of the tactile one. Just because I hate those sliders.
Rated on both of them?
I believe they are. Let me see. I think there should be like IPX8.
At least 8.
If I remember.
Hopefully.
Let me see. Yeah, at least. If not, they're probably around.
What about yours,
7.
Al? What is your IPX rating?
My experience with the watch I have.
The IPX, yeah.
I don't even remember the water or the IPX certification on the watch, but I do remember that it is water resistant. So, like, say if I'm going on a jog and it starts raining, I'm not terribly worried about it getting wet or anything like that. Other than that, I do enjoy the actual tactile feel of the spinning wheel to navigate the OS system on the watch. And I mean, the battery is great. It lasts pretty much all day. I'm not really worried about it running out of a charge.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Other than that, I mean, the faces, I really enjoy it. I mean, it looks really sleek. It still looks like an actual watch. It's classic. It's not a square. I mean, not to say square watches are,
they make a circle eventually.
Horrendous or anything.
All those squares will make a circle eventually.
So I mean, I don't got any smoke for the Apple Watch or anything, but I mean,
it's like just Super Saiyan.
I really enjoy the Samsung interface, the user experience for what I use it for, which is to tell time, maybe read a few messages from time to time, and definitely when I get alerts or updates for like on email or a text message or something. Yeah, it definitely comes in handy. Other than that, I mean, I've fully enjoyed my watch up until now. So I mean, but again, I don't think I'll be upgrading the watch to the newer iteration this time around. But maybe 2 more iterations. Maybe I'll wait 2 more. So yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at mentally with the watch aspect.
Like a wait
for
and see.
The head or the earbuds, I think that I will be holding off as well. Like, because I have been watching other people review it, the actual earbuds, and to be perfectly honest, it's like not an audiophile. I know darn well that the earbuds aren't made for you to or trying to be comparable to over the head headphones or anything like that. So I mean, you pay what you get. Get some reliable headphones that go well and match well with your actual phone or device, and the charge is pretty good. It's not going to last you 24 hours, but you have a decent amount of hours that you can use the headphones. Or the earbuds, rather. And as far as like using it to make calls or to talk to people on the phone, it's not a bad deal. I mean, I haven't found any issues with it, and I don't see myself going out of my way to purchase the new ones that just came out. But those are my thoughts for those 2 items. What about you guys?
Well, I'm a user of the Galaxy Buds Pro.
Cancelled.
And yeah, they're pretty good. They're not perfect by any means, like you were saying. I've had some times where like one earbud doesn't respond when I have it in the ear and it's still playing audio, but I like to use a lot of the times the ANC in the early mornings. And when I'm going into the workplace, I like to cancel out sometimes the cars or anything like that, and it works beautifully. And like I said, coming back from work, I have fallen asleep with them with the ANC on. Magnifique. Yes.
It's awesome, bro.
And I can't complain.
Not for me. I mean, yes,
there's always room, but no.
No, but for me, I mean, I like them.
They're beautiful.
They're
they look
small
nice
enough to seem sleek enough. Yeah, the case is really good. I like the fact you can wirelessly charge them. I mean, the ANC is, nothing like my Sony's.
It's better than nothing, though. Sometimes.
Yo, you're trying to compare the Sony's
you're like the one versus just like.
Well, I mean, I do have the Sony's, so I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, it's not like the Sony's.
Have you fallen asleep with the Sony's?
But speaking of the Sony's, have you seen the new earbud Sony ones?
Oh yeah, those look dope.
I hear that they're real, like they're crazy good, like God tier. To put it in the words of Flossie Carter, God tier.
Flossie said this? Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
Yes, he did.
But I mean, they're really good.
They're really expensive as well.
I like the earbuds.
Yeah, you pay what you get, yeah.
I like the earbuds, the Galaxy Buds. For working out, for just walking outside. It's because the Sonys aren't exactly waterproof, but these are. So
you're right. Yes.
If you get caught in the rain, you're good with the buds.
You can jog another hour.
So as I said before, I'm not gonna buy the Buds 2 because I see no point. I like the Buds Pro that I got here. I even got a speaking case.
Yes, sir.
Wait. The Buds have a case?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The case has a case.
Inception.
Exactly. There's a case on top of a case. I like
what
the
features
layout.
does this case have?
They're really easy to connect. It protects it from getting dents and cracks.
But that's a case. Oh.
And it looks cool. But yeah. I feel like the Buds look good. They're not like super crazy. I like the ambient sound mode of it. I think that's really cool. I feel like it's even a lot better than the ones on the Sonys. The Sonys, I feel like they're kind of slow for the speak to go into ambient mode. They're a lot faster in the Samsung ones, and you can even change when they cancel out. But that's not all Samsung released. They released two more products.
Yes, sir.
So they released their foldable collections. They released their foldable phone collections. If you're in good old England or Britain, they're called the Z series, and then over here in the correct side of the world, we call them the Z
sleeper series. Zeds everywhere.
The Z series or Z series. They're foldable series. They released the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and the Z Flip 3. So we all saw back in 2 years ago when the first Z Fold came out, and then later the Z Flip. The first iterations, there were some problems. The first one had that big bulge for the camera, the cutout for the camera. Then of course that plastic film that acted as a screen protector that people were easily able to remove.
Right.
So then now to the Fold 2, still had that screen protector, but you can take it out, and it's not too bad professionally, of course. And they didn't have that big camera layout. They had a punch hole layout. Oddly enough, in the Fold 2, I think they had 120 refresh rate for when you open it up, the big tablet mode, but not on the fold when you fold it back up to a little phone. That was still 60.
Yeah, the
so now for the Z Fold 3, everywhere, both device displays have 120 hertz refresh rate. That camera punch out is now a in camera display.
In display camera, right?
Underneath, in display camera, yeah. So now the camera is literally behind pixels that kind of
Under the screen,
change
right?
depending on what. Yeah, they change basically depending on what you're watching. The pixels can be programmed to illuminate and then deilluminate to make it seem see-through basically. The camera layout on the back, it's 3 camera layout. I think they're all like 40 megapixels, something like that, something crazy. And like I said, the front-facing display also on top of it has another camera. I think you can fold it up. It looks cool. It looks cool. I feel like this is definitely like this Z Fold 3 is what we expected when the first Z Fold came out. But we got there. I feel like if you were gonna go buy one, this would definitely be the one to get. I'm not gonna get one because that's crazy expensive. We start at basically $1,800, and that's a lot of money. Oh, and they also come with support with the S Pens. So they have
but
S
not
Pen
integrated.
Pros and the regular one. No, but they have a case that has the one integrated. And that's just the regular, and then they have the Pros that's like a big pen. And then they, like I said, now we continue on to the Z Flip 3. I feel like the Flip is a way to bring back the flip phones. It's a cool
I see.
phone.
Yeah, I agree.
They had to kill someone.
Yeah.
They had to kill a series though.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
That's true.
But the Z Flip, it's like I said, same technology as the Fold, except that it's more of a handheld form factor. It's like I said, just like the flip phones. You flip them up instead of a whole physical phone buttons. You have the whole screen, which I think looks cool. It basically makes the phone bigger. But I mean, I think the Flip is kind of gimmicky. It's cool, but it's okay. It's cheaper. I think it starts around 1,000 and goes up from there. So, with the introduction of the Fold 3s, Marcos have to say goodbye to, and basically all of us have to say goodbye to a good lineup. Marcos career in the sad music. we have to
Why?
of course, say goodbye to
No.
Marcos. Marcos still rocking it, and I think I was still rocking. I think the last one that came out,
Yes, I saw that.
the Galaxy Note.
Pourquoi?
So the Samsung Galaxy Note series
There's no
It was
market
only
for the
10
time
years
being.
old. Only 10.
So I'm gonna read here the little snippet that Marcos wrote over here. Or I don't know. Samsung isn't launching a new Galaxy Note this year. Instead, its best features live on in the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 and smartphones everywhere. Miles Fiddleman isn't happy. Nope, he's not happy one bit. I should say Marcos.
You already
He's not
know.
happy.
You already know.
But this notion that the whole Galaxy Note line goes away, it's just nuts, says the 67-year-old system architect. Oh, I can see why he's mad. Who has bought Galaxy Note smartphones for the last decade. I tried to reassure and comfort Mr. Fiddleman in this rough time.
It's
to
gonna be
okay.
Daijou Bu.
Everything's gonna be Daijou Bu. The Galaxy Note lives on forever in every smartphone, in every tablet, in every heart, including Marcos. I tell him, but he and lots of other Galaxy Note fans aren't having it. And this was provided by the WSG.
The PIMP.
All right. So, for so long. And, I was actually thinking about making my next phone the Galaxy Note.
Why
which,
didn't you?
They
Why
crushed my
didn't you
dreams.
come on the greatness
I mean,
earlier?
you can wait for next year. They're probably gonna bring it back.
Calling it the Note
with the amount of
book.
with the amount of petitions that they're doing, there might be a thing.
I'm wishing for
Maybe.
for the
I think
notebook.
I'm thinking I'm thinking about I might get the next S series
Okay.
That's another good choice,
just
right?
because. Yeah, just because.
So according to this article, and
It's,
these are pretty facts.
And your phone can be an eligible trade-in anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are like a lot of facts that I noticed throughout the years. One, the super big screen. The Note series was the first one with according 5.9 or 5.3 inch.
Yeah, I remember when my friend had his Note. I think he
In
had like one of the
2011
first
came
Notes,
out, I
like the
think.
Note 2 or Note 1. Yeah. It was crazy. I'm like, dang. I remember looking at him because I remember this was like back when I was still like an Apple head. I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to get a phone that big. And here am I rocking like a 6.2
Yeah, no,
phone.
this guy.
Excellent.
I remember seeing this for the first time on a YouTuber, a Mexican YouTuber. Her name was
Marcos Lopez.
Kylie, I think.
Wait, her name is Marco.
Her name is Kylie, I think. Kylie like or something like that. And yeah, yeah, right.
Oh, she liked you?
She was rocking the Galaxy Note 3, I think, back in the day. And I was like, and she's a tiny little,
Throwback.
she's a tiny girl, but she had her phone and the phone was almost the size of her head. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, it was good. It was good. And then,
Dang. A 5.9 inch phone?
yeah,
with your
I
head?
mean, you can read out the stuff there. The features was the pen. The pen was a
Yeah.
feature. Back in the day, a lot of people were making fun of it. What was it? People
Now
were.
people
I mean,
praise it.
there's a lot of features that a lot of phones are integrating support for pens. And what's the creator,
Right.
the Apple guy? What's his name?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs said like, "Oh, I already have integrated 10 pens in my hands." Can you imagine that?
Wasn't remember in the original iPhone release, like one of the things he brought up was like, you guys want to have a pen? Who wants to have a pen? He's like, you got your finger.
10 pens. 10
Yeah.
years later. Turns out people still want to run with
Yeah,
pens.
I mean, difference of opinions. You know, each company had a difference of opinion, and
Oh,
one went with a pen, the other one went with more
look at,
of a tactile, using your hands more.
and then the Apple Pen.
type of. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
Well, that's more with the
they
iPad,
reverted
though.
back to having a pen. I mean, not for the phone per se, but their tablets,
computers.
you know, computers and stuff like that.
Salutations, Marcos here. This is a message to all the listeners out there. There are links in the show notes for our Twitter, email, and even show notes. Any questions or ideas for the podcast can be sent via these links. Now, back to our regularly scheduled podcast. Anyways, the screen, the pen, and yeah, I feel like those are the mainstays, and the no compromise. It was like top of the line, everything. The square shape. Yeah, and now rest in peace. Was it one of the first phones to have a sensor too? The fingerprint sensor? No, right?
No, that was another phone. It wasn't even a Samsung phone. It was like, I think some Chinese
Like a
phone.
Xiaomi phone, I think it was,
Yeah.
or a OnePlus. No.
But then,
Or
no, it wasn't one. I think it was a Xiaomi.
maybe a Xiaomi.
Not even iPhone.
Or an Honor phone.
But I think it was either iPhone or Samsung that made it popular. I forgot
The
which
Nexus.
one.
No, or it might have been
Nexus.
Honor, or an Honor phone.
It could, yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
But yeah. So that's you're gonna have to break one open for the
The goat.
boys, and just. But yeah,
Spill a little liquor for the boy.
yeah, you gotta be like Mr. Odin. Makes what's I think it's called Od. Boil some tofu and be like, miss you. Gotta boil it over their bones and just like, oh.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think LG came out with a phone too, right? With a pen.
Yeah, like back in the day or recently.
I don't know. I want to say obviously back in the day, but I also want to say that recently, maybe it's not an LG phone, maybe it's a different manufacturer, or Nokia. I don't know, with the pen. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I saw some sort of announcement.
Don't remember.
But I mean, there's a lot of new innovations that are coming down from Silicon Valley, I guess. So I mean, I'm excited to see. What we have in store for later part of this year, or the tail end of this year. Hopefully, new announcements for whether it be like new chipsets, new silicon, maybe new type of form factors for either phones, tablets, or laptops. Everything is getting 5G'd out, so that's something to look forward for. What else? I mean, again, Samsung is sitting pretty smart because they kind of, even though they axed one of their more popular phones, I'm pretty sure they did it with a reason. I know, very sad, but I think they kind of did it with some sort of intention of not cannibalizing its own sales. So in order for them to give us a folding phone like the Z Flip and the Fold, what is it, 3 now? They kind of had to axe one of them in order for them to provide these two new form factors and make it more enticing, or give it the spotlight they think it deserves in order for them to basically make sales, and for it not to be cannibalized with putting a Note out, because they do have a bunch of S series and A series also.
Yeah.
And the A series are really compelling when you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you want darn well near top tier, guts for the phone, with almost all the bells and whistles. You can go for A series and not break the bank, and it's very compelling. If you want the S series, obviously you're
gonna have to put in money
or paying for a lot more money, but you're getting your money's worth as far as the actual materials that go into the actual phone.
And then there's the Note,
plus really crazy good internals. What was that, Marcos?
And then there's the Note, the no compromise.
Right. I mean, they
that was their slogan.
Have been coming out with the right, but they have been coming out with like the fan edition, the FE iteration of the phone.
For what? No? Or for the S series?
I don't know if it was a No or if it was S series, but they've been coming out with that, like also with the new tablet that they came out with, the FE, the Galaxy Tab FE, the fan edition. So they're basically trying to,
they're like shooting themselves on the foot for top of the line if they're saying fan edition, because what does that imply in your own opinions?
Well, I was watching an interview that one of the Samsung, I don't know if he's a director in sales or whatever the case is, but he basically broke it down by saying that the thought process behind the FE edition for the tablet that they're promoting is to give you the best internals with maybe not the highest quality externals as far as like the build material. It's not like metal or whatever the case is all around sandwiched with glass, but it's 5G capable. You're able to play well with Microsoft and Samsung in that ecosystem, and you're able to use DeX. You're able to like multitask, and it's a fraction of the price of what you would be paying if you were to get an Apple tablet device. So they're going after that market. So people that are obviously going to school or are about to go to school or want to buy a tablet, or they're in that in that headspace of oh, I want a tablet, but I don't want to break the bank because I also want to buy a new phone, or I want to buy a laptop, but I do want to use a tablet for sketching or taking notes or consuming content, or maybe I don't need a full-on laptop, but I do want a tablet that does darn well at almost everything a laptop does, but I don't want the laptop feel. And they can definitely go down this option and get it done. And again, I'm just paraphrasing what he was saying. Again, you can definitely look this up. I believe it was a Pocket Now podcast exclusive with this gentleman from Samsung. So if I find the video, I'll pass down the link, so we can leave the link down in the description for you guys to watch. But again, I think they're trying to be strategic at this point with what they're cutting out or axing, like the Note series, and giving new form factors in order for it to be more enticing. I mean, because at this point, like, it's incremental, little things that they're adding to the devices that aren't making a big, huge, change in the actual usefulness or how we use the phone per se. But when it comes down to it, form factor is something that they're still are able to play with and work on in order for it to be something fresh and new in your hand. So like no other phone, like, or no other manufacturer at this moment in time that I can think of. I mean, besides the Huawei's, the Honors, the OnePlus, the Apple.
Sounds like a rap right there.
The Nokias. I mean, just taking those big names and as manufacturers, form factor, they're basically they're all little tablets in your hands that you can use as a phone.
And who do you think paved that path?
Samsung is like
Samsung with the Note.
Yeah, the phablet is something that they've been doing for a long time. But again, I think Samsung's in the space right now where they want to innovate and give you a different form factor, so they can be not only in a different space, but they can. Samsung works in that way where they rather be first,
not the best,
and
but first
work out. Well, right, but they work out the kinks, and it's a work in progress. But you can actually see the progress that's being done through all their iterations that they update, and you see the progress. Where taking into example like an Apple, where they don't release a product until it's Apple-fied.
It's smooth.
And it works seamlessly, smooth.
Yeah,
with its ecosystem with the other Apple.
That's a different mindset.
Products. Yeah. So definitely two different worlds, and they all are basically fighting for your dollars. So I mean, it's a great thing because it's competition, but at the same time, like I don't see any other companies innovating like Samsung at the moment with the form factor.
Just as a quick observation, though, just unfortunately, I really don't want to say this, but at the same time, I can understand why they'd act specifically the Note series, because it's a niche line. It's the no compromise. That's, you're more or less cornering yourself, but at the same time, you're showing the peak of your tech. For at least 10 years, you would show the peak, the top of the line, and you'd have your customer base, and you'd have the haters, and then you'd have the believers, the converted ones that became from haters to believers. And now with the Z Fold, again, the no compromise thing. Fan edition, what does that mean for me, the fan edition? The no compromise, again, they're stepping on the Note territory. So I feel like there was not a histogram. What's that thing? The pie charts. What's the one, the converging thing? The ones that show the circles. What's the name of those things? That kind of graph.
The converging graph. I don't know.
The ones that look like circles, and they like what are they? A pie chart, I guess. Chart. But all of them were stepping on the Note so much that why not just get rid of the Note and have them be different enough to show the world this is a new tech. And not only are we the no compromise, we have a different shape phone, which again could be back to basics to folding, but with new technology and new features. The pen is optional and you can buy it and there's a case for their support for it. And then the software, the insides, the guts, the Samsung series has improved so much. But probably, this is me speculating again, so don't sue me out there, all those people that want to fact check me. There was probably some cannibalism or some competition on the back end in the production line. So like, what can they cut off? Everything is good, but what is not as good? Which one's the less good? And they had to cut off the Note. Hopefully, my dreams is that the notebook comes out, calling it like Marcus Brownlee. He said, yes.
But you know what, Marcos?
Yes.
I think you have a great point. I do believe you have a great point there. Because, I mean, understanding the climate that we're in right now, where chipsets are kind of difficult to come by right now.
Yeah.
Because of the situation the world is going through. So I think that mixed with obviously the lack of demand of a certain series like the Note series, probably during like the last 2 years or so, probably wasn't doing the best sales wise. So I mean, I think like any company, you kind of have to cut your losses where you need to in order for you to stay afloat
and probably open path for a new product.
It was a mix, right? I think it was a mix between compromising between what devices are we going to offer with the limited amount of resources or chipsets in this case
production
that
lines.
We have.
Yeah.
And basing that off of our track record of sales during the last 2 years, perhaps. I think those are the two factors that were mixed together and ultimately was the conclusion of why they made the decision to only come out with the Z Flip and the Fold 3.
Follow the money. Follow the money.
Yeah, and unfortunately axed the Note
Rest
series. And again, maybe for a temporary time.
Fingers crossed.
So I mean, again, I think they're sitting pretty smart. Is it something that everybody's happy about?
I'm not.
Maybe not.
I'm not.
But again, I think they're being very strategic where other companies are doing their thing, and I think it's great. I mean, just look at Sony's new Xperia phone that came out.
That's
I
a
do
beast
believe
of a
it's
camera
very
too.
camera heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very camera heavy phone. But again,
even more of a niche.
How much waves has it really made? Who's a person that you know personally?
No.
In your circle of influence that says, you know what, I'm gonna go out there and buy that Sony phone. They're not even in the conversation.
Yeah, no.
To be quite honest, even though that phone looks awesome. So
there you go.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's where their head is right now, as far as Samsung thinking it through that way, where other manufacturers are probably thinking it another way, where I think Apple is doing a great job where they're monetizing really, really well with having what's it called, payment options where you can pay for their services.
Installments?
And you're on a installment plans or payment, not only for their services like Apple, the App Store with games, or with Apple TV, and
their ecosystem,
recurring payments. Right. I think they're sitting pretty because they're making money that way. Where in another, I guess you can say, way, they're also making money by offering their financial services where you can get a Apple credit card and get cash back buying Apple products with that said Apple credit card, and you can buy it in installment payments.
Oh no.
So they're incentivizing you to
hold up
pay
I
for
just
their
got
products with their product.
The thing that you just said,
And
Google is
Yes.
totally opposite scheme. It's ads.
well, I mean, I guess, Google is very much
Ads.
and I don't. It's a pool for your information, right?
Yeah.
So your information is valuable,
Yeah.
so they collect it, and you're basically giving them permission to use it for whatever they deem necessary or whatever the case is, in order for them to make money. So I mean,
They use
In-
they
in
both
that
use
sense.
phones, but they use it for different things. Apple is clean, sophisticated, and you pay with the easy installments. But Google is totally the opposite. The prices are kind of are lower, and the
Extra
software is
thick.
strong. But what do they use it for? For their profit on ads.
well, look, I think we have to
Yeah.
also, if we were to go that route or down that rabbit hole, we would have to dissect and dismantle. Well, not dismantle, but dissect a little bit and deep dive a little bit on what Google is, being that the parent company is Alphabet, and Google by itself isn't the end all be all for that company. It really has a different departments and stuff like that. Besides the Google search engine,
YouTube.
you have Gmail, you have YouTube, which is another thing. Most of their profit probably comes from YouTube,
You already know, yeah.
because it's the bigger thing
And with
than
ads.
anything. Right.
And with that, they also have like all these
The
different services
phone
they provide
aspect
for, like, programming.
is probably one of their least profitable ventures that they have, but they still do it because they want their company to be elite and be innovative
I'm
and
scared.
be in that in that group of companies that people talk about, that they're innovative, they're big, they're powerful, they're they get stuff done. And I think maybe in the next couple of years, understanding that technology is between 3 to 6 months evolving and getting better, and just blowing everything else out the water. So it's crazy to think that Samsung just dropped their new devices, or an Apple or a Google or any other company dropped their new devices, and as soon as we're getting those devices into our hands, they're already working up or cooking up in the kitchen
Oh.
the newest devices that they're gonna start talking about or leak themselves
So
3 months down. And so right now, while we're talking, they're probably already cooking
Halfway,
up the
yeah.
next greatest things that they're coming up.
So
There is no sleep, there is no downtime for these companies.
no sleep for the
They're
restless.
just cranking out. Yeah, they're just cranking. They're relentless.
Wait. They're
relentlessly
cranking one out.
cranking out new things out. Yeah, absolutely they are.
So wait. So think about this.
Absolutely.
Samsung, the hardware king. Google, the ad king. And Apple, the clean?
No, well, I think Apple is also sitting really smart, because from start to finish, they're in control of
The walled
every
garden?
aspect of that. Yeah, of their whole ecosystem.
Elysium. Why not just call it
Whether it be-
Elysium?
Well, call it with what you want. They're still gonna call it Apple.
Yeah. Brought to you by Apple.
Where
Damn it, Google.
where
Not sponsored.
where Samsung also sitting really smart, because what's to say that maybe next year they come out with the rolling phone instead
They're
of
the
like
innovators.
folding
They're the
it.
innovators.
Yeah, they'll probably have a scroll phone.
The trend
where
makers.
They have a pen that's pretty thick, and that you can roll out the actual screen.
A pen for
and
your
it's
pen?
a touch screen, or whatever the case is. And I remember they having concepts and stuff like that. So it just goes to show you that they're willing to push the envelope in order for them to get closer to what they think that the next big thing is.
Respect.
Where
Yeah.
Google is, Google is doing their thing.
They're software
where
kings.
it's not as competitive. Hey, bro, like Samsung and most other phones
Are getting there though.
run the OS
They're getting
or
in there,
Android,
yeah.
right? So
yeah.
So they have to play nice with Google to a certain
point, yeah.
Because the Play Store is a big thing for phones that are not Apple OS systems.
There's side services, but there's a convenience that Google has created, a necessity, if you will. And I feel like Samsung and Apple want to get out of that.
Well, yeah, being self-sufficient is something that Apple already achieved. And it might be a route that other companies might want to go, whether it be a Nokia that, wants to come back, or a Samsung might want to do it. The Chinese manufacturers are definitely doing that, like the Xiaomi's and the Honors, and whatever other companies that are Chinese specific. And what's to say that a new company is born that would be a new competition to all these other companies. So I think those are things that we're gonna be, we should be looking out for, because innovation is really what we need, and competition is really what we need to get better things.
Could be hardware,
foreseeable
could
future.
be software, or could be the perfection of the combination of both with Apple. Who knows? But it's just a big three right now. At the
end of the day, and at the end of the day, people are gonna like and gravitate towards what they like. And now that you mentioned big three, it's something I want to talk about. Maybe towards the end of the podcast for the the section.
Yes. I mean, yes. No. Yes. Yes. Now, may I go to this other segment that I was, thinking about?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Because I have one more segment two more things that I want to shout out after your segment.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep them under 5 minutes.
Motorola wants to be the new Apple. Its first attempt is, take a look. Read a book, Reading Rainbows. I want to change the world. Every day, I wake up with clear intentions to right wrongs, correct stupidities, and ensure I win the Pulitzer Prize. What is this guy saying right here? Come on. Frankly, I find it hard. I'm not sure how to go about it all, and there are always warped systems and capricious humans standing in my way. Okay, that's high up there. Get off your high horse, Motorola. Perhaps though, Motorola will have greater success. Good luck. I mean, I can't knock Motorola, like it or not. It's a goat. So, with its flip phones back in the day, but okay.
It's a ghost. Yeah, it's a ghost.
It has this.
Booga, 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 booga.
No
It has decided to be, something else, something better, something more meaningful, if you will. Something like Apple. So very long ago. Okay, calm down. Check yourself, Motorola. I should stop yelling. Yes, you might think Motorola simply produces cheaper phones. No, it had its time. You may not realize that its market share in the US is what has risen to 11%. Oh my god. Well, hey, something is better than nothing. This leaves it 21 points behind Samsung, but 10 points ahead of former owner Google. My god. Okay, the company's ambitions, though, are lofty. I know this because Francis Laflamme, Waka Flocka Flame, Motorola's Vice President, CMO, Europe General Manager, told Adweek, quote, "We want to be recognized as as diverse and inclusive. We want to be seen as disruptive, as agents of change. The agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you will. Yes, I should have emitted a buzzword alert. My apologies. These are just catch-all words. But yeah, no. They just want to stir the pot, and that's good. Let's pause, though, to consider what an agent of change is or does. It's easy to conclude that Apple was the preeminent agent of change in tech. Back in the 80s, yeah, against Intel. Yeah, it was. It wanted to disrupt the market, so I can see that with the computers, the phones, but now it's a stand. It's a standard. A GOAT. Not only did it create startling products, but it embraced humanity, and offered sharply distinct, truly memorable communication. It even had Muhammad Ali, what? And Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi was never seen without his iMac. Okay. To be an agent of change, you have to look and feel different. This, however, is Motorola's first attempt at flapping its bat wings and attracting your entrails. What? What am I reading? It's an art that offers you, and I quote, the power to empower. Quote, this is the sound of fire, begins the breathy voiceover. Wild, passionate, unstoppable. I need somebody to say stoppable. And perhaps destructive? Nah, not at all. Instead, this is the beacon. Bold, bright, inspired, the brave Batman. And confused ads like this make me want to whisper, oh Lord, do shut up unless you're really going to show me something bolder, brighter, and more shiny. Inspired that a young woman jumping off a diving board, a youth doing a wheelie on a bike, and young men playing the drums.
Did someone say diver?
Oh, taking a dive. You know what? There's a YouTube link. I'll share it. You probably already seen it, but I'll share it in the notes. But yeah, so I'm not. You can keep reading on if you want to. This is just too catchy. I feel like this is a sponsored thing. So no, we're not. So I'm not gonna continue reading. But yeah, so Motorola was a GOAT, no doubt.
It's facts, bro.
But the water change again. This is like evolution, like the extinction event for technology. Nokia, Samsung was there. BlackBerry, Apple, Nexus. Rest in peace. Is it still there? I think it's still. No, it's gone. Right, the Nexus series.
Oh yeah,
but still, there was a dying of companies. Nokia, Walkman, all those guys. But now we have to admit that they're trying, and I want them to try. I might, maybe invest on them, but
so that's sweeter to fail.
No, let's not. I'm not gonna say anything. Yes,
Marcos, I want you to look. I want you to hear my thoughts, please. My voice. It's gonna fail.
Full stop.
Yeah, it's gonna have to come to. I feel like Motorola is probably on his last legs, or maybe not. Maybe it found something else to keep itself afloat. But is it gonna be anything like it was back in the day?
Unfortunately, not. No.
With the flip, no. This is not. And for it to become a new Apple, it has to be in that level.
Look at how Apple started in the 80s. Anymore. It was saying fight for, because they made an ad. Their first ad was that there they hired the guy that made the Terminator series. I forgot his name. No, the director. I don't know. The one that made Aliens, the one that made the Terminator, the one that made the Titanic, all those series. But yeah, they were saying stop conforming, aka it felt like communism, like a bleak world. I don't know if you've seen that ad back in the 80s. They were saying, oh, stop following the conformities of Intel or Dell. There were 3, I think, back in the day. Follow Macintosh, and there's like a blonde girl.
Oh yeah, Intel made their own computers.
Yeah, and they're like, and there was a blonde girl with some nice short shorts and high heels and I think a red shirt. Yeah,
and she's like,
and she was running
Pepsi.
across the crowd and like, I offer myself as tribute, and boom, broke the huge TV computer screen and said, "Follow Apple," and that was back in the day.
Yeah,
but now Apple has become the one. I mean, the big one. Not a big one. I'm a big one. But let's see if Motorola can flip it.
Nah, I feel like Motorola is just trying to leave behind what it can.
It's in its death throes. Death throes.
Yeah, he's leaving behind. Well, who's gonna inherit what?
Yeah, it's How do you say that, Alan? When somebody dies? Oh, their will of fire. Their will of fire.
Death. No.
Like, you mean their will?
Like a will?
Yeah, that's what Josue is saying. They're just saying it. Apple. No, I'm adding. I'm adding. I'm spicing it up.
No, I'm just saying that, like, I feel like Motorola is trying its best to come back as much as it can, but it's just beyond its time now, and Motorola ain't gonna keep up. I mean, like I said, as far as for phones goes, like selling phones like it did back in the day, it's not gonna come back.
Next,
can it keep itself afloat by selling something else? Yeah, no. Is it gonna keep itself afloat by selling something else? Probably. I mean, that's what IBM did.
Sells computers.
They're not selling computers anymore. I forgot what they're doing, but they're keeping themselves afloat.
I think they're doing software, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They're hard in the supercomputer game.
I think so.
But you know what? I think Motorola, and I don't mean to cut you off, Josue, but I think Motorola is basically going down the same route Nokia went through, where it went bankrupt and then it got purchased, and then it started back up trying to do something with phones, but it never quite took off the ground with that that new I guess group of people, or whoever was leading that group with Nokia, to a place where they needed to be, and ultimately they fell off the map of telecommunications as well. And I think that to some degree Motorola is gonna go down that same path, because I mean, and I think to Josue's point, if they want to be the next Apple, they're gonna have to do what other companies do that are in that space. They're gonna have to take away engineers that are from those companies and pay them more money, or entice them with something in order for them to work for them to do something great. We sometimes forget that the person that dreamed up all these, I guess you can say for Apple at least, dreamed up all these like really enticing and compelling handhelds or hardware was Steve Jobs. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of Steve Jobs out there.
They started off in a garage,
being whimsical and stuff, where perhaps Samsung doesn't have a Steve Jobs, but what they do have is really high quality hardware, where it's like other companies go to Samsung for their AMOLED displays.
Facts.
That's very competitive, right?
You need Samsung most of the time.
Where other companies go to Google in order for them to give them, you know, what's it called, the app
The
store, the services aspect of it, right?
back end.
So that's what makes Google competitive. And you know that, like, Motorola would have to find its own like niche, its own, you know, very specific. They're really great at this one particular thing.
Sorry to cut you off, Alan.
And other companies, yeah, go ahead.
Idea. Motorola, tough. Rugged. Why not put it into the private sector? Like like a lot of small companies are trying to say, oh, just super secure. Why not use that that experience into like super security, into software security?
But Marcos, I think they already went down that route before when they had Nextel, and for whatever reason, that didn't pan out at the end.
It was good for a short term, relatively speaking.
Right. For whatever reason, Motorola and Nextel kind of parted ways. And to be quite honest, it was made for commercial use.
It was too niche. For the private sector. It was too niche.
I think it was great for what it was at the time, because the walkie-talkie feature was innovative and was something that you could. It
was cheaper than actually calling
use, it was
on
amazing.
Phone, yeah.
You could be across the country, like you could be, you know, in a different country, and you were able to get in touch with someone that would. And I think that was amazing, because, you know, how much was a person really spending as far as like money wise for that feature?
Weren't they like installing towers, phone towers or something like that to do that service?
Well, I have no clue. All I know is that if you were like, say you were in Mexico, I was in the state of New York, and you know, I had to get in touch with you. I could just hit the walkie-talkie feature and it would bleep.
It would chirp in Mexico.
I would be able, right, and I would say, "Hey, Marcos, what's going on?
What's popping?
Listen, how's the business going? We need to get X amount of, you know, tons of this of XYZ to go from point A to point B. Would that be possible by, you know, Friday?" And you would be able to answer me back. So, you know, they were solving a problem, which was communication.
And quick,
and
short
not only were you able, right, exactly. Not only were they solving a problem, but that was like, I guess, some sort of solution to a problem where you were getting charged a lot of money for minutes that you basically paid for the phone service, right? So had Nextel / Motorola come out during this time with that innovation, it probably would have flopped, because the plans for phones now are so accessible. You can definitely pay for an unlimited plan.
The internet cut them off.
You can text somebody. You can video call somebody
for cheaper over Wi-Fi.
Right. So I think for what it was at that moment in time, I think it was, you know,
lightning in a bottle.
But what they failed to realize, like a lot of companies from yesteryear, you know, tended to do, was they thought that nothing would come in the future that would rival what they had.
Nothing better.
And they stopped innovating.
You need us. You need Nextel.
You need to be on edge. You need to be paranoid in order for you to keep innovating, to doing something newer, better. This is why Apple is so productive.
Very stressful.
This is why Samsung is productive. This is why Google is productive. And they're not letting go of the reins of trying to fight for being number one.
They're haters. There's haters that say, like, why is Samsung getting so much of a flip phone? Like, I'm a hater right now because they cut Nextel.
So again, and I'm pretty sure Samsung is doing the Z Flip for that nostalgia alone, and people are buying into that.
True.
People that are our ages and probably a little bit older are like, wow, I remember when I used to have a Motorola flip phone. I remember that was one of my first phones that I had, and the nostalgia is there, and they'll buy for that reason alone and be like, wow, not only am I able to relive this nostalgia or the great memories that I had when I had a flip phone, but it has all the bells and whistles of the things that are in now, the innovation, the productiveness, all the great new features that I'm able to use on regular, the compact flip phone form factor. So I think Motorola needs that lightning in the bottle, that needs that proprietary, that niche, something to differentiate it from other companies, and other companies are willing to go to Motorola and ask them to use whatever that new proprietary lightning in the bottle innovation niche that they're creating. But in order for them to create that, they need to bargain and figure out a way to get the brightest minds from Apple, Samsung, and Google to come to their company and work for them. And, resources are limited.
So, to conclude,
no problem.
Can you proceed, Alan?
Yeah, no, just to finish my thought, it was basically, they're going to have to literally try to figure out a way. Motorola would have to figure out a way to get these smart, intellectual,
their demographic
lightning in the
changed.
bottle type of people to work for them in order for them to achieve the results they want. And for that to happen, they're going to have to really pick out these A plus type of people from, not only Apple, Google, and Samsung, but a Tesla, and Amazon, a Visa, a MasterCard,
Alibaba,
Alibaba. Like, they would have to look and scour. And there's companies that have a specific department that scour, schools. And
school events.
That scour, groups and look for these people and make events in order for them to scout out these people that are the next A plus type people that would be a great fit for their company in order for them to innovate for them, and are more than happy to pay them oodles and oodles of cash and money for them to work for them,
An example is with Mr. J over here. He went to one of those places.
Definitely. And again, I just say engineer because obviously, that's one of the major factors that brings innovation to companies. But I mean, what's an engineer if there's no CEO or COO that are top of their game? CIO that's not top of the game is going to fumble the bag. They're going to fumble the ball. And, you need A plus type people in all segments.
And all sectors,
this is what makes a company really work. You want relentless, that's what's going to get you results. You're going to want the people that are scouting for these engineers or
relentlessly.
And that are going to be A plus people that can weed out, who's a plus and just an A or a B or a C type of person that's not going to be a good fit, or the person that you want for your company to be that group of people that are going to figure out how to make that lightning in a bottle. So, I mean, it really comes down to that. Are you willing to look for these people? Are you willing to pay these people? Are you willing to have, a group of people that are going to be able to work for you relentlessly? And who's at the helm? Who is the CEO? Who is the person pushing them?
They have to be an A plus kind of individual.
Right. Is it going to be an Elon Musk type of person where he or she isn't, scared of rolling up their sleeves and getting dirty and being on the assembly line?
Yeah.
Or being a Jeff Bezos type of person where he's going to figure out a way to make what his dream is, in such a way where he'll have robots doing it, being.
But can I give you an analogy?
Yeah,
real quick analogy. Just in this continent, right? The United States, the flatlands. there used to be an ocean back in the day. And in this ocean, there used to be mosasaurs, a lot of different sharks, a lot of different crocodilian, a lot of different predators, if you will. And there were so many predators compared to the variety of prey. You know what they found about them? That they had a different niche of feeding. Some of those would feed on ground, on bottom feeding animals. They had specialty on breaking shells. Some of them were specialized on hunting other sharks. There were so many predators, but there were so different kinds of feeding ecosystems, even though they were all in the ocean, that they didn't hinder on the resources that they could eat. They could live in this kind of harmony, but not for that long, until the ocean lasted. That was, the middle of the United States. So that's like a very general analogy of Mother Nature having a huge variety of predators in a relatively small ocean, which it was between the Appalachian Mountains and the Sierra Mountains. So, just a little short story, but that's just me. I'm just reading the tea leaves and patterns.
No, I see what you're saying, and to be honest, I think that Motorola, I mean,
it's getting eaten. Be a nice surprise.
It might be a nice surprise for it to actually, do something, but I have a sneaking suspicion it probably might go down the route Nokia did and not get to the place where it needs to be, and unfortunately,
and that place is constantly changing, Alan. It's never going to stay the same. It's always changing. May that be walkie-talkies, may that be internet, may that be security. I mean, privacy. I'm looking at it right now. Google is in danger, even though it's trying to tout its Whitechapel, codename Whitechapel chip. Its primary source of income is ads, and they're touting with this Whitechapel as the most secure system, right? To come. I'm like, doubts. Press. Where's my F or X?
Well, a company I've been looking at, as far as like, and not to veer away from what we're talking, but just to add a little bit to the mix, is a company called CrowdStrike. It's a company that does security for bigger companies. It's a company that offers its services of cybersecurity to companies like ADP, the company that basically helps pay individuals from companies. So like a payroll type of company.
Like a PayPal thing? Oh, no. Different. Okay.
No. CrowdStrike provides cybersecurity for companies like ADP. And that kind of like made me remember just this week, for those that follow cryptocurrency, there was a hack of some sort, and about what's it called, 6 million Ethereum was stolen or was hacked from one wallet to another, and that's one of the biggest breaches that happened. So I mean, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of problems that need to be solved, and
there's a lot of competition.
Companies are in a space or a spot where they can provide such services. This is why I mentioned like a CrowdStrike, where they're providing a service to try to solve a problem. And I think companies, both big and small, can benefit in order for them to get get their money, get their bag, because they're providing a service, solving a problem for people. And this is just one of many things that has been happening, where there's been hacks in the Pentagon or the White House or whatever the case is.
The meat industry, the gas industry, solar winds, name it.
The pipeline for the gas line or whatever the case was hacked as well. Yeah, so I mean, there are problems, and people want solutions, and companies
offering
should be at the
solutions.
forefront.
Yeah.
And if you're able to find a solution, you should be paid handsomely for that. So, with this, I mean, $6 million is nothing to scoff at. I mean, that's crazy. Ethereum getting stolen, or hacked. And that's just, one of the many problems that need to be solved, right? So, I mean...
Oh, another analogy, real quick. This is old news, but there was, I think it was a meat company, but they were able to trace a hack. I forgot.
And it's gone.
A hack to a Chinese-sponsored government, and the United States was saying, "Oh, check your teams that were hacking. We can track them. We know who they were." And then the Chinese government was saying, "Oh, why is the U.S. saying, oh, that our government has been blamed for hacking different things?" And facts from England, a third party company, I forgot the name of it, was saying, comparatively speaking, China in a little way is right in technology flexing. The US is minimum 10 years ahead of China. But technology speaking, you can copy somebody else's tech and those 10 years can be gone in a flash. So time, in a sense, for technology advancements is very little and so easy to shorten that gap. Again, shorten the gap, not surpass, eventually surpass. But 10 years is nothing in technology speak if you're able to literally copy and paste, integrate that new software into your system in the relative sense. Also, it can fact check me all day on this because this is a fact, but at the same time, it's not really that much of a fact. Also, can you please chip in on this part?
You're wrong.
Okay, thank you. Okay, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Because it's you. You got this from a Dojin ad.
I feel like this is biased.
You got them from the ads on your Dojins, didn't you?
Come on, continue. Give me facts. I want to hear facts.
I mean, I think that I don't think it's as simple as copy and paste because there are all laws against, copying someone's ideas.
But what are laws to be broken?
That's why there's rules and regulations, obviously.
Yeah, but who do you think is going to follow it? Big C? Do you think is Big C going to follow all those rules and say that they're following it?
They kind of have to.
I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole to say, this company stole intellectual property from this company and X, Y, and Z. But at the same token, it's like they'll lawyer up and they'll be able to fight back. They have the expendable money for that. But
both of them have.
Like
a
smaller company wouldn't do that, wouldn't dream of doing that because they know the type of litigation that they would have to go through.
Versus a government-sponsored one.
Well, I mean, I think Marcos, you're viewing China as like a whole, where in reality it's just companies that do this.
I mean, we know that, but they want to see everything as one.
And Marcos, I think we need to also differentiate what China does, where it's not. It's the communist, what's it called? It's the Chinese Communist Party, which is in control of the companies. So we can call them independent companies, but that's just a farce. They're all controlled by the.
You're just saying words that I'm saying that I just said. Yes. The government sponsored or forced.
They're government run and owned, so they just put figureheads there to make it seem like it's a legitimate business to some degree, and in essence that is not what we do here in the US. They don't play by our rules, and it's
but they want to put in their hands in here, and the US is letting them play over there.
Well, that's an issue and a problem that the government has that hasn't been addressed because there's too many behind the door deals and under the table deals that happen
deals,
that we're not privy to as you know, as regular people. Now we can put our tinfoil hats on and you know, go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would be beneficial for us.
That's not healthy.
Because in reality, we can only measure what we can, you know, what we can actually hold. So
I was gonna say that
in essence, it's like if a U.S. company wants to go do business in China, like an example, Coca-Cola wants to go do business in China. China has the rule where if you come and do business here, open up shop here, you have to give us your secret recipe for whatever you're doing. And when they come over here and do business in the US, there is no such law that obligates them to share their secret recipe or whatever their proprietary thing is,
their secret sauce,
for them to do business here. So it's very, very, very underhanded, very wrong, because the intellectual property belongs to said person or to said company, and sharing it with the Communist Party, it shouldn't be done. It makes no sense. That's essentially not capitalist. That's communist. Where over here, people, well, and to be fair, it's very much more capitalist over there in China to a certain degree, because people essentially steal people's ideas, because there is nothing, I guess you can say, there is no law over there. The law over there is survival of the fittest to a certain degree, which is very more, yeah, it's more capitalist than the US to a certain degree. But at the same time, if you do make any sort of waves over there and you catch the attention of the Communist Party, they absorb you. It's not like they ask you for permission. It's not like they say, oh, pretty please, would you allow us, you know, to be the largest stakeholder in your company? No, they absorb you. They take over. This is what they did with Ant Group and Alibaba and Jack Ma.
And Didi.
This is exactly what happened. And he had no way of him trying to defend himself. It's just, this is where you live. This is the country you are in. And this is the rules that we play by. And if you're not going to play game, we will kick you out your own company if you don't play ball. We're over here, not like that. And if it is more similar to
it's growth to a certain point. If you're making too much of a change, or you best be absorbed.
Yeah, basically.
Or get stepping.
Right.
Ugh. Yeah, and what about here then? Like those companies, the competition is stiff over here as well.
This is why Congress had the CEOs from Google, Apple, and Facebook and Amazon.
I forgot about Facebook. Yeah,
go in front of Congress so they could hash it out, because they're being called monopolies. They're too big. But again,
this is just hearsay. What we're thinking out loud, okay?
So, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you can,
and I like talking about this.
Yeah, you can definitely go and on the record and see what Congress actually spoke about with these CEOs and why they have these allegations of being monopolies, what they do, if it's, you know, if it's correct or not. You know, they were accused of being monopolies, breaking down little companies and absorbing them. But at that same time, there was competition between them. So you can't call it, or in essence, it's not one company just, you know, absorbing them just to absorb them. They competed with them. The better company, you know, won out of it, and they basically bought up the other company, where in the communist country of China, they absorb the company. So the owner doesn't get anything for their hard work and labor. Where over here, if Amazon wants to buy my company, Amazon is going to pay me for my company. So if my company is valued at, just for example, $100,000, they're going to pay me $1 million. Amazon pays me $1 million for my company. Am I not richer because of said?
Yes, it was an equivalent exchange. Yes.
Right.
What was it? The Google and YouTube, or Amazon and Twitch.
Google didn't just come out of nowhere and say, "Hey, I'm gonna just take your company, YouTube." No, they paid the creators, the founders for it, and the founders said, "Okay." There was a documentation, there was a contract, they agreed upon it, and that's business. So
Bezos with
again,
PayPal.
Well, Bezos with
Elon Musk with PayPal.
Well, PayPal was a company that he started with his people, and then he sold the company, or whatever the case was, and he had capital thereafter to do whatever he wanted. He was a large stakeholder in Tesla, bought out the other two, the two founders, and became the
big kahuna.
CEO and founder. So there you go. But there was an exchange of money. There was something given in order for someone to have. It wasn't just absorbed or taken. So that's the difference. I mean, a lot of people that aren't business owners, that haven't, started a business from scratch, they wouldn't be privy to this because they don't know. They just think that things, automatically just appear, like if it were a video game. Like, no, people have to intellectually think up of ideas to solve a problem in order for them to offer a service or a product. And once it's manufactured, made, or processed in one way, shape, or form, it is sold to the public. Now, if you're a good salesman and your product or your service is outstanding, you will have notoriety, right? After that, your business grows, it scales. And what happens? Then you probably might get a few calls from people that have quite a bit of money and say, "Hey, I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Let me buy that company off of you. Let me buy that idea off of you. Let me buy that off of you." And you're in your situation, you can say, "You know what? Yeah, definitely. You can buy it off me. It costs this much. Great, no problem." Capitalism. It's great.
And on that note,
One more thing.
Like you cut, G.
into anime, shall we, gentlemen?
Excellent.
Dear listeners.
That was a great entrance, bro.
So, don't get me wrong, even anime has capitalism, and the big sellers. There's different trends that anime follows. Isekai was a trend. Is a trend. Gundam was a trend. So, Alan, Mr. J, talk to me.
Bro, I just finished reading yesterday. Like, it was like the crack of dawn, like around 12 or whatever the case was. I got an email from Crunchyroll, man. So the parent company of Funimation, which is Sony Entertainment, which is in Japan, basically bought Crunchyroll off of its parent company, who is AT&T. So now Funimation and Crunchyroll are going to merge to one.
Again? Yes.
Well,
but this time Funimation's on top.
Some people scream, "Yay, great news." Others scream, "Nay, what horrible, horrible news."
What group are you in now?
That it's a I don't have I guess you can say,
come on,
a definitive feeling about it. I feel kind of.
What's the fire in your belly telling you, Al? Tell me.
I wish there was more competition.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
I don't want one company,
the monopoly.
Just having look, a lot of people, and I was reading a lot of the comments from that article that I was reading, where people were saying, hopefully they keep Crunchyroll's what's it called, their operating system for their app and stuff like
Their
that,
app?
because it's a lot, for like Crunchyroll app, or their new beta, what's it called,
The manga reading
their
one, right?
new website,
Yeah, okay.
that what's it called, that Crunchyroll uses for viewing anime. So basically a lot of people are saying that it's way better than the Funimation app.
Funimation's website is weak. Funimation's website app has been getting a little bit better, not that much. You're right.
Again, and we can go on a deep dive of how both of their apps and websites are broken. They're horrendous. They're horrible. Right? We can go down that rabbit hole. We can go and do that deep dive. But at the same time, bro, we have to acknowledge that the positive, the pros here is that I can see would be the catalogs, right? The catalog,
they're the trendsetters for the rest of the world.
Crunchyroll and Funimation. But then the downside is that in certain countries, in certain places in the world, the Funimation app does not work, and in other places, the Crunchyroll app may not work. And if if it does work, there's only a certain amount of a catalog that they're able to show over there. You would literally need a VPN in order for you to see all the shows that you want to see that are
price of the subscription
available in other countries.
Yeah.
So this is the downside to that.
To both.
Where maybe exactly. And just because they merge doesn't make it a better product.
And they can cover their blind spots.
Yeah, they think on paper it sounds.
Yes.
Yeah, on paper it sounds great. It looks great. Oh, they're gonna cover each other's backs, or they're gonna fill in the holes that one had with the other. But that only works if there's innovation that comes along with it.
Whose hole is gonna get covered?
Both Funimations and Crunchyrolls.
Okay. Okay, at least there's equivalent exchange.
Well, there's something going on, but that's kind of concerning, because if they just kind of like mash everything together under one umbrella and say they erase whatever Crunchyroll is and just absorb their catalog, and it's under the umbrella of Funimation with the same type of I guess you can call the user interface for their app and stuff of Funimation. I don't know. People are going to want something else. The community
it could be
is
both ways.
Want.
It could be 50-50. Yay or nay,
again,
easily.
I don't know. Are they going to drop the Funimation and do Crunchyroll instead outright? Or are they going to do erase Crunchyroll and do Funimation exclusively under that umbrella? I don't know. Or are they going to run
merge
both?
Yeah, Crunchy Fun or Fun Crunch. Captain Crunch.
Well, again,
Crunchy Nation.
Again, there's a bunch of mixed feelings about how that goes. Me personally, it can go really well or it can go really bad.
There's no in between.
I'm pushing for another company to come out, and
you want diversity again.
Yeah, I do.
What was this? Anime,
because a lot of people in the chat were saying, "Oh, Verve, VRV,
that was Funimation's or Crunchyroll."
Yeah, exactly.
That was Funimation's.
So that's something that, to me, it's like we can look at Hulu, we can look at Amazon Prime and say, or Netflix and say, oh, well, there is competition.
Not really.
But it's not. But you can't call that competition really, because it's not exclusively for that content.
May I interject with something? First things first. Anime is a niche, right? It's a niche media entertainment, if you will. It's a juggernaut on its own. Don't get me wrong. So it's a very limited product in the sense that, oh, I want anime. But at the same time, because you say you want anime, it's a huge ocean within its own genre, with its own title, anime. Animation, Japanese animation. Japanese animation, not world animation. Okay? Let's not get that mixed up. Anime in its own comes from Japan, like whiskey Scotch only comes from Scotland. So, having your, and how many companies have licenses for Scotch, in your opinion, Alan? A lot or little companies?
No, it's exclusive. You can only, and this it only pertains to Scotland, right? To get the Scotch, country, right?
Yeah.
Where you can get whiskey over here or bourbon over here in the US, right?
So let's use that analogy.
It's a little confusing because I get where you're coming with the analogy, but the thing is, and I wanna preface this before by saying that maybe because Sony is a Japanese company, it would only make sense that they would buy the company that it's its competition for content that is of Japanese origin, if that makes any sense. I mean, we can be funny about it and be like, they want animation. They want the West to stop bastardizing the content or the creation that is.
Wait, are you saying they should stop dubbing it or get better right dubs?
Hey, I don't know what their train of thought is, but we can be silly. We can be silly and say they stop bastardizing, our content, our creation of Japanese origin. But I mean, in all honesty, I think more than anything else, it's the fact that they're trying to consolidate, and basically buy out the competition in order for them to profit more. Obviously, that's a company's major thing, right? Because and I'm pretty sure AT&T did this in order for them to pay off debt because they are not in a good situation financially.
Versus T-Mobile,
it was $1.175 billion that Sony paid AT&T to buy Crunchyroll off of them.
Oh my god,
that's a crazy amount of money.
Oh my god.
I don't think our Crunchyroll, subscriptions cover that. Let's just say that.
They're investing hard.
Yeah, I mean that's a hefty investment, and if Sony was willing to part with that money in order for them to like obtain that, it only stands to reason that there must be a plan behind that. What that plan is, I don't know.
They're like, come back, my child. Come back into the fold.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you would think, okay, Sony being the parent company is going to be able to acquire all these all these licenses for the shows that aren't in the Funimation catalog, right?
Is it me? Or is it hot in here? I need to take off my shirt because I'm starting to sweat bullets over here. Dang. Dang.
Whew. We do have competition in this space, and it's not crazy, but you can say Sentai Filmworks is competition.
There's a whole
you can say
bag of worms or a cup of worms in there that takes forever. Just the process for making anime. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know enough. Right.
So besides Sentai Filmworks, you have like Daisuke or stuff like that, or the companies like that.
Totally.
But remember, we're talking about companies that actually are distributors of the medium.
Specifically anime, not
Right. No, what I'm saying is that they distribute. They actually either put it on the television screen or your streaming service, or sells you the DVD box sets and merchandise. Get that's what I'm getting at. These are the companies that do that. That's what Crunchyroll and Funimation are as well. So what I'm saying is that what they have down the pipeline might be amazing, but it also might not be amazing depending on what side of the aisle you're in. So I'm thinking that
I'm with the girls' side.
I'm hoping that a third company arises due to this new business venture that Sony took upon itself to be competition, because it's either this or going to a pirate site.
What was the name of the one that recently went away?
The Kiss Anime one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
wasn't there like a Kickstarter recently too, or something like that for the license?
Funny enough, Crunchyroll was originally started as a illegal site, a pirated site. Where it was fan dubbed.
Don't say that. Shh.
And it wasn't until, I want to say, a couple of years ago, if I'm not
2010 or 11, yeah.
Yeah, like 7 years ago, if not a little bit more, 10 years ago, I think. I don't know.
I was in high school and watching it. They were like, oh.
The fact of the matter is that it was illegal and then it became legitimate.
It was,
It basically made itself legitimate because it grew, its following grew, and they basically
invested
were
on
able
themselves.
to charge a subscription fee that allowed them to have the capital in order for them to be legitimate. So whoever started the actual Crunchyroll website was able to take that capital and make a business out of their illegal business.
Hold up. Are you saying this could be like another example for like, this is out of the box thinking, random, like weed? It used to be illegal, now with some states making it legal, they can make it into their own companies?
It's not federally legal, but it's, state-wise, depending on which state you're in, it's probably legal.
Mr. J?
But I think more than anything else, it's like I would like to see another company come along and basically be competition for this new merging of Crunchyroll and Funimation. Because
so you want a melee. You want a melee.
Well,
a new challenger.
I want at least one more. And the reason I say this is because there's so many shows that aren't picked up, or the licenses aren't bought up by Funimation or Crunchyroll, that we would never know about.
Oh my god!
Unless we were to go on to like these illegal pirated sites and
hold up.
Their catalog.
Let me hit you with the fact. Hold up. I just googled it. Crunchyroll Inc. Inc. is an American distributor, publisher, production, and licensing company. Production focused on streaming anime, manga, and dorama, founded in 2006 by a group of university students in California, Berkeley graduates. Crunchyroll's distribution channel, and so it started in the university in Berkeley in 2006. Partnership group program delivers content to over 100 million registered users worldwide. Crunchyroll was a subsidiary of Otter Media, which is a ... Read more on Wikipedia.
And the production part of their company was of recent. So not only were they after licensing,
but
Japanese
they
animation,
worked together with with Berkeley. There were college students that did it for a project in the university. My God.
Yeah, their history is there, and wherever you're reading that from, like Wikipedia or something, right?
Yeah, take it with a big grain of salt. Right. You're right.
So I think the major point here is that production side of the company,
UC Berkeley,
was started as of recent because of the situation where, I think it got to a point where, and please take this with a grain of salt. I'm just speculating here, but I think for Crunchyroll it just became a little too expensive to a certain degree to license certain Japanese licenses for certain shows, where they thought of or maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the second best thing they thought of was like, all right, now that we have a pretty good hold, a pretty good cachet of anime, maybe we should start producing, putting our money down, and producing animations in-house. So
I'll hit you with some examples. Inspector, okay? Tower of God.
Well, there you go. Wait, I think you need to make a pause right there. I think the Inspector one
was licensed, I think. Yeah.
I think there's a big difference between what they help produce and another one where they were the majority stake in producing, like the Tower of God, where this is not a Japanese original
manhwa. You're right. Yeah,
it's a Korean
they diversify
graphic novel, or I mean a manhwa. Yes. So
God of High School.
So excuse me for the miscategorizing here. The manhwa was created from Korean origin, and they
were able to diversify, pull in new media from other countries other than Japan.
Right. They're sourcing material from different countries like South Korea, and taking that and producing an anime.
That's not
Korean
bad.
Anime.
This gives them legs to survive longer. This is a smart move.
They're filling their cachet now, or their catalog, with different content that it's exclusive to them because Funimation doesn't have it, nor does Hulu, nor does Netflix, nor does Amazon Prime, right? So
Onyx Equinox,
Netflix, where Netflix went down the route, and their business model is different from other companies, where they're basically doing like Rave Master or
the Seven Deadly
or Seven Deadly Sins, and airing the whole thing. Recently, the Seven Deadly Sins or Pokemon or something like that, they buy
Beastars.
I'm not sure if they have exclusive rights to that show.
But yeah, I know what you mean. I get you.
There's certain shows that they have exclusive contracts with, where no other streaming service or company is able to air it unless
in-house,
it's with them, right? So where I think Amazon Prime basically went the other route, and they went and did Invincible.
That's a good one.
American comic book. So I'm seeing the difference, where Hulu is basically owned, I think, by Sony, if I'm not mistaken. I mean,
Disney.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
or it might be Disney. I'm not sure.
Hold up. Let's use a big buddy over here. Go.
Because Hulu does have a very big Funimation catalog.
They have is it Danmachi? I know that's the one that I use.
The show?
Yeah.
The anime?
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch it for a while in Crunchyroll. The second and third season, which I haven't
I see. Yes.
The licensing for
you're
it.
Correct. Yeah, for whatever reason, right?
Mm-hmm,
Where if I were to go on Crunchyroll right now, I'm not able to watch the first season of IS Infinity Stratus. I would have to go to Hulu and watch. Not only do they have the first season of IS Infinity Stratus, but they have the second season, and even better, both of the seasons on Hulu compared to the one season, which is the second season on Crunchyroll. Both of the seasons on Hulu are not only presented in the subtitle format, but the dub format as well.
What?
Exactly. Crunchyroll, I'm only able to see the second season of IS Infinity Stratus, and it's only in Japanese with subtitles. But if I go to Hulu, I'm able to watch both season 1 and season 2, and I can select if I want to see it in dub or sub.
It's
Which
it's
is
owned,
crazy.
Hulu is owned by Disney. Disney.
Yeah, there you go. So Disney has some sort of, I guess, relationship with Sony, and as they should, because
Are they? Is it a
basically
holding hands
Disney-
relationship?
I think so, because in order for them to, in order for Marvel, which is owned by Disney, to use Spider-Man in the Marvel universe, the MCU, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they have to pay some sort of royalty
They have to pay rent.
to Sony. They have to pay rent to Sony because Sony owns the intellectual property of Spider-Man. So there you go. So they have pretty good relationship. That's probably why Sony basically
They probably can text each other.
rents out Funimation intellectual properties, or the cachet of, or the catalog of anime, to Disney via Hulu.
I feel like Sony texts Disney, "You up?"
I'm pretty sure it's something like that. Yeah. So
With the
that's a
cat
crazy
girls.
thing, right? So
Which I envy so much.
right. So
Right, you just dismiss it like it's nothing. Don't diminish my cat girl.
I'm trying to finish the thought process here, where Crunchyroll went out of its way to dump money, or not dump money, but invest
Dump trucks of
into
money.
other. They invested money into other countries like South Korea, with their manhwa, to create Tower of God, God of High School, and probably other series that some people might like, some people might not like, but ultimately
Oh, and we're gone.
Why is he gone? No, Alan.
All right, but yo, I think we have to wrap this up though, because it's you guys are getting a lot of tangents here.
We're going too deep.
Yeah. No, you're going way too far away.
Well, why do you think I was summoning that? But no, it looked like nobody answered. Like, oh, let me go make some tea because we're spilling it everywhere.
But yeah, I think on that note though, I think we have to end it here.
Okay, thank you, listeners. By the way, I think I can read all your names aloud here. Let me say it. No. For later. How about that? Yeah. So
Names? What do you mean names?
you know what you're known as. No, like little son, the
No,
in some sort of partnership.
Oh, Alan, Mr. J
Yeah.
already told us that we should cut it because we're going too far. We're going too deep for him.
I apologize.
It's okay. So,
Yeah,
thank you, Alan, for the deep thoughts. And my cat girls.
No, yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's something that might be good, might be bad.
Fitty.
Other than that, Bleach is coming back.
Jose, anything?
So,
Cat
I'll
girls
end it
don't
on that.
exist.
Bleach is coming back.
Thick thighs for life.
Cat girls don't exist. They're all
Thick
part of
thighed
my
cat girls for
imagination.
life. No,
And on
Alan.
that bombshell,
Yes.
good night.
Night.
Yes.
Night internet. Marcos out. Hi there. Thank you for tuning into the LTS podcast. All the notes and more can be found in the description. By the way, we have a social media page where content is posted regularly. Feel free to reach out at us through there or via email. Both are found in the description. When you support the show, we have a merch store where you can buy an item that you like. If buying merch is not your thing and you just want to support the show directly, we also have links to those too, if you'd like. Thank you. Also, every comment is really appreciated. Credits in the description as well. Peace.